I don't know if anyone can see this, but I'm just sorting out my life vis-a-vis microphones and such. All right. Now, hopefully that sounds okay right there. Let's move it. I don't know, whatever. I'm definitely not an audio technician. I do what I can. Oh, I should probably, yeah, claps work. Yep, cool. Looking good. All right, all systems go. Just confirm we're actually streaming real quick. And indeed, we are live. Brilliant. Oh, and hold on, one last thing. Double confirm the chat's working. Chat working. Just gonna let that catch up. And the chat's working. Brilliant. Okie dokie. So, welcome to DevSesh. That's the new tentative name. DevSesh episode 4. Oh yeah. Today we're going to be doing a bit of housekeeping kind of stuff. I'm calling it the site-wide damage control episode, because basically what happened is I was working really hard on this landing page for my, this new landing page for my site. Sorry, it's just a mess of cables right here at the moment, just everywhere. Anyways, so I was working on a landing page for my site, and basically I was changing a lot of CSS. I tried to keep it as sort of isolated and separate as I can, but as things usually do, I kind of overwrote, or just, by making a new thing, I broke a bunch of old stuff, effectively, is what happened. So today is mostly just going to be fixing the things that I broke, and if we have time for it, I'm thinking we'll throw in a few little Easter eggs too. If not, that'll be the next episode, so stay tuned. All right, I'm just gonna get Twitch going on my thingamajig phone so that I can, brilliant, all right, cool. Just so I can see the chat, and yeah, all right, away we go. So, first things first, let's boot up our site, my site, our site, whatever. It's everyone's site. Let's just say that. So cd into sarikdan/website/sarikdan.com. And just my usual get status in diff, even though really not necessary at this point. Yeah, I'm not gonna read that. Not gonna clear it, just leave it all there. And we will go Jekyll serve, our wonderful command that boots up our little development server, or live server, I think. I think that's what GitHub's doing. All right, anyways. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Jekyll RB is a sweet, awesome static site generator is what it's called, and it's sort of tailored for making blogs, but you can sort of extend it pretty far. It has boundaries, but you can extend it pretty far, and it is really, the really cool thing about it is, well, there's a bunch of cool things about it, but the two things that I like the most about it is, one, plain and simple, GitHub offers you free hosting for it as long as your site has, as long as you keep the project open source. And also the other cool thing is, the really cool thing is you get a blog with kind of a backend. Git is basically your backend, for those of you familiar with Git. And what's cool about it is it generates a bunch of HTML files at all of the paths you would expect for each post or page or whatever. And what's really cool about that is because they're just HTML files sitting at those paths, it's not actually like get variables that a script on the server is then taking and running off to a database and grabbing a bunch of data and like filling in all these templates and making all this stuff happen, all this witchcraft in the background, which takes time, right? So ultimately, the too long didn't read version is that your sites load way faster because it's literally just an HTML file that the browser is grabbing and bringing to the thing, and that's it. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyways, let's dive right on into it today. So localhost port 4000/learn is where it's currently at. So task number 1 for tonight is to move this page. Look at my big mouse. I love that. Anyways, to move this page from the learn directory or learn path page, whatever, just to the root. And this is what's currently sitting on the root directory for those of you who haven't seen my site, which is probably all of you. But anyways, this is one of those kind of bugs that I introduced with my new thing is I changed the master default template thing. So now it's got this navigation in it, but this logo kind of overlapping, but it's kind of a moot point because I'm going to get rid of this. As much as I do like this homepage, just because I'm nerded out really hard on it, and I've got this little like pseudo console going on right here, and myself typing on my old laptop actually, and a little random jellyfish that explodes and reappears in different places. Anyways. As much as I do like this this homepage, I am swapping it out for the new this one here because this one is much more in line with my whole like as much as I feel shysty saying it, my marketing plan. Gotta have one. It's a necessary evil, I suppose. And yeah, this one is custom built specifically for that plan, so hence I am using this one. So yeah, task 1 is we're just gonna move this page to the index. Should be pretty straightforward. Not gonna need those just yet. So let's see. First things first, let's just collapse stuff. So am I actually using Sass on this project? I don't think so. Anyways, not important. Collapse everything, just make it nice and easy to read. And first things first, let's open up our existing index page and have a look at what it's like. So it's using the default layout, excuse me. And learn, I believe, is using the same. It is, good. So there's no different in parent layout. That's gonna help us a little bit. So I mean, you know, it's probably gonna not work right out at the bat, but you know, why don't we just try and just straight up overwrite everything and change a couple variables in our I forget what this is called in Jekyll or Ruby or whatever it is. It's like something matter, front matter. I think that's what it's called. We're gonna change a couple things in our front matter. Actually, you know what? No, why don't we just do this in one go? I bet you if I change a couple things in the default template, this is gonna work. Don't actually need that. I prefer to be keyboard file grabby. So let's just save that as, let's just throw a paragraph here and say JK, nothing here. Get out of, oh, actually gonna keep that for a minute just because I need that variable for a moment. And so we've got is home true and is landing true. I think is home is gonna be deprecated pretty quick here. So let's say default, grab our default layout. And this is the page we're going to be using with it. So let's see what is home is doing. Oop, there's 2 places. Oh, I see. So if it is home, oh, I see. We're just throwing an active class on the nav link. So that's cool. Or actually, maybe even instead of removing is home altogether, why don't we just repurpose is home to be is landing or whatever. So, oh, okay, so all we're doing is just throwing a class on the nav link and loading in these extra scripts at the bottom here, just Phaser, a minified version of Phaser, and the home thing. The main gets loaded in regardless. Cool, all right, so we just gotta switch this up, that's all. Child's play, brah. So if is home, throw that in, ditch these 2. Actually, not even gonna need those at all anymore. I could effectively delete those off the server. Phaser I'll probably keep because I feel like I'll use that for something in the future. Oh, hello. good username. The horniest of men. Hi, who are you? What are you working on? My name's Kirk Morris. I'm an open source game developer. Unfortunately, not working on open source games tonight. Tonight we're doing finishing off the final touches on my website and getting it all ready and everything in place so that I can start making these games and just get going on the main thing. The games are going to be the main thing. Tonight specifically, we're just doing a little bit of housekeeping, tidying up of pages and stuff. I built this new page, not this one, but I hope the chat's actually working this time. It wasn't last time, and that's kind of a bummer. Anyways, I built, losing my train of thought all over the place here. I built this, oh yeah, right. Well, sorry, I'm in the process of moving it over, but I built a new landing page for my site, and it's going to be replacing this, this page, which was my old homepage. And that's the first thing we're doing, and then there's other stuff I've got to fix throughout the site that I broke just by building that landing page, and yeah. Then if there's a little bit of time at the end, we'll start getting into the more fun stuff, which is some Easter eggs on the site. And that's pretty well it for tonight. Next time, after that, we'll be doing something else. I've got it all planned. Have a quick look. Hey, so if we get through the Easter eggs and everything, the next live stream, which hopefully will be tomorrow at the same time, 9:30 Pacific Standard Time, we'll actually start getting into the first of the games, the open source games, and that will be where the fun really begins. Anyways, hope that answers your question. I'm gonna keep getting to it. So if it's home, we're going to include, I'm changing this to the name of home. Now we will need this for a minute. And we can delete the old home JavaScript file. Yes, move to trash. Get out of there. Oops. Oh my God, did I just delete the entire? Yes, I did. Oh Lord. Excuse me, please stand by. We're experiencing technical difficulties. Yours truly just deleted my entire JavaScript folder instead of, you know, the one that we actually needed. See if we can recover it with some Git magic. Otherwise, I'm going to have to go fishing in my trash can. My bad. So some Git magic. What do we do? Git. I just did that. So I can read things. Git status. Does it not tell you what you... Oh, deleted right there. Yeah. So git... Is it checkout, I think? Source/JS. Oh, right. Of course it's not going to be there. Let's have a look again at our status. And I think we just brought it back. Look at that. Back from the dead. Okay, so not... Oh, it must have... Yeah, that's... Microsoft, I'd like to report a UX bug, because that's a little jank. If you right-click on something, but you had something else selected, and hit delete, you're going to delete the first thing you selected. Come on, Microsoft. Anyways, that's okay. You still made a wonderful open source editor, so thank you for that. Alrighty, server's back up. And we'll keep Phaser, the minified Phaser, because yeah, I'll probably use that for something in the future. And where's landing.js? Oh, whew, okay, no, it's in my recycle bin. I thought a true moment of panic. I thought that okay, everybody avert your eyes, don't look at my recycle bin. I don't know what's in here. JS.js. Oh, come on. Oh, that's searching my Mac. Landing.js. How do you restore it? I don't know how to do anything on a Mac. What, copy? Is that it? There must be a restore. Is there seriously not? Maybe it's, oh, you know what I can do? Ah, good Lord. Date modified. What? Did it come back? Sorry, viewers, this is a pain. It's just can't find my landing.js anywhere. Yeah, I don't know why I can't just show in and closing folder. Oh, not grammar and spelling, come on. No, not delete immediately, good Lord. That would be a lot of work gone. Sorry, I have to go real careful here. I'm just gonna copy it, I don't care. Let's just get it done. Okay, again, no looking at my secret folders. Websites, Saracdan, source, JavaScript, paste. Good Lord, never delete that again without committing it. My goodness. This is, viewers, this is why you should make frequent small commits, not infrequent gigantic commits. Because if you accidentally delete your file and remove it from your trash can, which I almost did, you can get yourself in a world of trouble by easily losing your stuff. Main, yeah, we need that for other pages. Landing, fine. Okay, I'm just gonna get out of that folder before I do any more damage. Okay, so anyways, this should work. On the home page, it's gonna load that, and we just gotta, oop, why is it red? Oh, they're all red. Okay, whatever. So we can get out of there now, I suppose. Learn, we don't really need. That we don't need, that we don't need. And save this, and let's see what happens. Whoa, well that certainly didn't work. Oh, and I know why. In default, there's gotta be one, yeah, here we go. One more condition that we need to change. So instead of landing, that's gonna go in home. And, oops, actually we do want that last end if page.isHome, we're not going to load the home CSS, which we can also delete, which I'm going to do carefully this time. So into source CSS, home, click it, right click it, delete the one file. Yes, move to trash. Such a good thing I didn't do that on my old computer, because on my old computer I had some bug where I couldn't actually move things to my trash can, and I just had to delete them permanently. So if I did that just then, that would have been like a solid, probably a month's worth of work gone. Whew, danger zone, as they say on Archer. And look at that. It looks about perfect. Our quiz is still working. Let's just confirm, go through it all. I'm not going to test every single case because then we'll be here for the next million years, but sure, whatever. Pro developer, okay, that's me, why not? Guess I'll contribute to something. I got to reword that though. I gotta just be more specific, just say, do you like open source? Anyways, all these things pop up and it asks you for your stuff. I'll be Jason Bourne, lol. I know that's not how you spell it. I just don't want to get in trouble for jmoney@gmail.nope. As you can tell, I've got some very high class email validation on the go here. And look at that, you're officially in. The share links all seem to still work. I'm not going to log into my Twitter, and I'm not going to log into my Tumblr. Oh, look at that. That's a cool background. Posted by Goefel. Cool. I just did that. LinkedIn. And look at that. They all still work. Wonderful. Okay. So I dare say that's step one complete. I can probably just get rid of that learn page now. JK, nothing here. Yeah, We don't need that. That's just going to confuse Google and the search engine robot spiders. Whoever decided to call those spiders anyhow? Is it because they're like going around the web? That's, I mean, okay, fine, kind of clever, but still, robot spiders is a image I really don't need in my head. I hate spiders. Spiders freak me out. Okay, so learn, click, right click, delete, move to trash, and good. Okay. All right, cool. So that's awesome. That's step 1, and we did it in 20 minutes. Not too bad. All right, so step 1, move learn to homepage. Done. Next step, fix page headers, in brackets, nav spacing. Alrighty, so I think what that is referring to, because of course I am so well versed in my own notes. Oh, hold the phone. That's not working. Oh dear. Okay. Shoot, I probably shouldn't have deleted anything just yet. That may have been a mistake, but whatever, we'll find out. So that is relying on an overlay that doesn't, hang on, let's just confirm the overlay is not there. Because maybe it's just not selecting it, but oh, container overlay, it is indeed not there. Or sorry, there, it is there. That's weird. No classes are being applied to it though. Okay, that's leading me to believe it's a JavaScript problem, perhaps. Also, the Z-index on that is off. It's the video is showing above the nav bar. That's funny. Alrighty, well, I guess we'll have to just figure that out. Div nav, div container, nav open. Nav class primary open. Okay, no worries. We'll figure it out. We'll get there. I don't know if the horniest of men is still watching, but I hope I answered your question there. I keep just checking the chat every now and then here just to make sure I'm not missing any messages, because I did that on my first or second stream. I totally missed a message and I felt bad because it's like, yo, someone actually took the time to put a message on my thing and I didn't answer, and what a jerk. What a jerk move. All right, let's get at it. Right, we're looking at an HTML file, which is probably not where we want to be. Although it's funny because I didn't change any JavaScript, but maybe it's just the way I'm targeting it or something. Let's find out. Not main, sorry, home.js, because we just changed it. Oh, that's odd. Is this just caching? What's going on with that? Why is that search not working properly? It must be caching. Oh. Oh, because I'm not including it properly. I deleted the old home, but I don't think this is probably the problem right here. Is there an error? It's funny that there's not an error. Anyways, whatever. So default template. And down at the bottom. Oh, excuse me. I am actually including it properly. I just didn't rename it yet. Let's just do that now. Oh, I see, I almost did it again. That is bad UX. How if you select one thing, then right click on something else, it does the action of the right click on the first thing you selected. Microsoft, if you're watching, fix that. Or actually your thing's open source. I could try and fix that. I should. That'd be fun. And oh, and you're using Electron too, if I'm not mistaken. So this is a web project, so I actually could fix it. Anyways, change that to home. Cool. This is the new home. Let's have a look through here in just a moment. Refresh that. Yeah, of course. Why would that fix it? Oh, or we're still including main, right? I'm sure we are, because I don't think that would open at all if we weren't, but yeah, we are. Okay. So we're still including the main JavaScript file, so there may be something wrong with the home. I'm actually really not sure where to start on this. Oh, the joys of being live. Live code demos, lol. All right. No, okay, what am I looking for? Why don't we just take a look at the main file too, so we can see what's actually going on here. Oh, good Lord, this is a mess. If any of you guys are like neat freaks about your JavaScript, there's nothing wrong with that. You should be. I should be. I'm not 100% of the time. This project I'm viewing as kind of a rapid prototype. That's how I'm letting myself get off the hook with this whole very ugly JavaScript I've got on the go, but anyway. So nav.primary is the nav. And on the, yeah, I'm not even putting them in variables or anything. I'm just, yeah, anyways. Anyways, not important. So container, okay, so that doesn't actually look like it's doing anything with an overlay. Nav container. The container is just the container of the whole site. That's how we shift it over. This would be a reference to the nav button. Although that's not, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think that's triggering the animation properly either. I think this might be a CSS issue. Well, okay, hold on. Let's just examine it a little more, shall we? What happens if we throw open on this? Or was it ever open, or was it on or something? No, active maybe? Last guess, and then I'll actually do real debugging. Okay, nope, none of the above. Yeah, so all the classes are going in the right place, but the button's not, so that's funny. That would be this. Oh, it is going on, but it's not. Let's have another look at default. I want to see more specifically the CSS, what's going on here. Ooh, nope. That's fine. Leave that as is. Over to Git. Diff index.html. What did we change? Oh, not index, sorry. Default, but I don't remember where that lives. Layouts. Git diff layouts / default. All right, here we go. So I updated font awesome. I removed home and added landing. And it's still called landing? Yes. Landing.css, it appears to be. 100%, yeah, okay. So it's still landing. Well, we might have to go digging through the trash can again. Sorry about that. That's definitely not what you guys tuned in for. You didn't want to just see me looking through a trash can. That's no fun. Oh. Oh, yes. Okay, so I did actually change the markup of the button. I removed the old button and I moved it into a new nav bar element, nav class bar. Then other than that, all I did was remove phaser min.js and I renamed home. Yeah, right. Okay, so must be something with that HTML file, or not HTML, excuse me, CSS file I removed. Let's boot up Jekyll so we're running the server still. Excuse me, I'm trying really hard not to burp on camera. That wouldn't be nice for you guys. The microphone is right here. Okay, so would I have changed? Okay, it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna try and restore that home file and see if it makes any difference. So actually I do need git for that again because I feel like I can restore that. Deleted, yes. So git checkout source slash css slash home dot css because it doesn't exist. Keep doing that. Status, and we have a modified home. So I'm just going to look at the diff on home real quick just to see what I actually did change. Ooh, it looks as though I changed a fair bit. Well, that's interesting and also confuses me as to why it worked on all the other pages, but we'll get into that in a moment. That might be another bridge we're going to have to cross here shortly, but yes, it does look like we need that file. So let's boot up our server one more time. Probably won't be one more time. I'm sure I'm going to need to get it up again, but to get it up. There's a joke in there somewhere, you know, get it up. I don't know. Anyway, into defaults and scrolly, and we'll just say link rel style sheet and slash source slash css slash landing dot cs. No, not landing. I'm literally just copying the line below me. Home dot csds? No, css. And we'll prepend the site's base URL. Very important that. It'll work in whatever environment you choose, or hopefully it will anyhow. Throw a couple more curly braces and a bracket. My Visual Studio Code really doesn't know what to make of the formatting for that. It's like, that's wrong, it's red, but it's not wrong. Visual Studio Code, don't freak out. Don't worry about it. Now, reload, ooh, dear Lord. Now we got mega conflicts. Well, that just made matters went from bad to worse, and it's still not doing the thing. Or hold on, is it? Maybe we have to scroll down. That's not brilliant that you can see that if you scroll. God, one thing at a time, or that. One thing at a time, we'll get there. Okay. I highly doubt this is going to make any difference, but we just change the order that we're including them in. Yeah, of course. Or, well, just, yeah, no. Okay, so that's not going to do it. Yeah, this is a confusing bug. Darn. Gosh darn it. I need more caffeine if I'm going to solve this. Kill it. So you know what, let's ditch home because it's really just made matters go from bad to worse. Just leave landing, but diff source slash css slash home.css. Oh dear, now there's no diff. Why is there no diff now? I'm not crazy, right? We just looked at a diff of that. Oh! Okay, no, I'm wrong. We looked at a diff of main. Goodness gracious me. Facebook Messenger. So home was deleted and then restored. So I didn't change home at all then. Okay, which is in line with my expectations, right? That makes sense. But why, oh why, are none of the layouty thingies working? Oh, okay. Viewer, if you are, I'm saying viewer because there is one of you. If you are new to code, do know, if you're not new to code, I'm sorry, maybe you know more than me, I should just zip it, but just so you know, debugging is one of the harder things to do in programming, so, you know, please try to bear with me through this, because this is This probably isn't even that bad of a bug, but the real bugs are when you're solving bugs in code that you didn't write, because that's the real trick, because you got to get like inside the mind of the person who made it and just figure out, okay, what were they thinking at the time they made it? Because every bug at some point in time was part of an implementation that made sense to the person who made it. So when the person made it, no one writes bugs intentionally, right? So like when you first look at it and when you first write it, you're like, oh yeah, this code works, this is perfect. They probably tested it, it probably worked on their machine, in their environment, whatever, but then suddenly things change and suddenly it doesn't work. Suddenly. Anyways, yes. So back to fixing our bug. I didn't rename anything, did I? No, because then it would show a diff. Okay, yeah, so that's not it. Just got a status right there. So I'm just gonna look at the diff of the main for a second again. Source/CSS. Main.css. So we changed the body nav open, we added that, excuse me. Oh, that's right. That's why I don't need classes to be applied to the, get out of here. Facebook Messenger is just going off the chain. The minute I go live, everybody's like, hey Kirk, but now is not the time to talk. I'm sorry. I will talk to you later. Yeah, anyways, we're 36 minutes in. We've got to kill this bug because we got more to do. Okay, looking at the diffs isn't going to help me. Let's just start playing with things and poking and prodding until something works. So save that, or it doesn't need to be saved, and reload that. Okay, so now we're back to an okay looking landing page with navigational issues. So let's have a quick look, not at the container, at the container overlay. So it doesn't appear like that body class is making it through. Very curious. In fact, actually all of this isn't getting moved at all. Okay, so that must mean, I bet you the same thing is causing that. So that's the wrong file. We want main. All right. Oh, I might have done a bad, or hold on. Wouldn't it be right at the bottom? No, I probably wouldn't have added it at the bottom. That's where the media queries go. Also ignore my jank-ass CSS. Again, this is bad. Sorry, everybody. To my employer, if you're watching this, I promise I write better code most of the time. When it's a rapid prototype, rapid's the name of the game. All right. Okay, here we go. Body.nav open, div.container, container overlay, and so why on earth is that not, oh, maybe we're not getting the body open. Yes, we're not. There it is. And we found the bug. The class isn't being applied to body, which is weird because you think it would. Except no, you wouldn't, because I think I reset the main JavaScript. Damn it. Okay, so see, I did do some damage with my, yeah, so that's something we're gonna have to rewrite. Pardon me, viewers, I am a fool, and I accidentally deleted my entire JavaScript folder earlier. Got parts. Boom, hold on, hold the phone. I just realized we don't have to rewrite it. It's still gonna be in the trash can. Look at, you get to stare into infinity for a little while. All right, and again, please don't look at all my, I don't know what's in here. I can't be held accountable, except I 100% can because it's my computer. All right, just a lot of me making videos by the look of it. We want, this time, main.js, not in the smack, we want trash. Main.js, there it is. And I can't find the restore thing because I don't know how to use a Mac really. It's all just a sham. Videos, not videos, not code learning, websites, 360 Kirk. Alright. I'm just going to be safe and not overwrite it. Keep both. That's kind of cool. Gives you a little code preview. Where's rename? Lost like 2 viewers right away. Yeah, I really don't know how to use a Mac. Sorry, guys. And oh, don't press. I don't know how to use a Mac, and also using a mouse kind of grinds my gears at times. It'd be nice if everything was keyboarded. Main 2. Okay, anyways, out of the trash can, into the fire. Okay. So let's get main 2 on the go. Main 2, not main.cs, this is main 2. I wish I knew how to do diffs in the viewer. If you're on the chat and you know the command for comparing 2 files and showing the diff of them, I'm sure there's a command for that, there must be. If you know that command, please feel free to throw it up in the chat because that would be useful right now. I know there's sites that let you do it, but I feel a little sketchy about using those because, like, you know, you're basically just handing over your source code for 2 copies of the same file and being like, here's my code, show me the differences. But I mean, also if you want to put it on a server somewhere, go ahead. Although I guess I shouldn't in theory care about that because this is all open source anyways, so really anyone can take this code, and as they should be able to. Anyways, point is, let's go like this, and main number 1, and go by it. Let's just OG diff it. OG diff. That'd be a good name for a command. Just want to make sure this is actually updating. Last time I had this stream running, apparently the viewer count and the chat both of them were not updating, allegedly. Not allegedly, I confirmed they weren't. Anyhow, yeah, this is already looking different right from the start, and actually way better. Like, I'm putting things in functions and defining more variables, so I mean, a little better. So how about we just rename main 1 to main 3? Do a good old, see, there's that UX problem again, Microsoft. If you're watching, if the one viewer is Microsoft, please fix that. Or perhaps one day I'll stop complaining about it and I will fix it for you. That'd be kind of cool. That'd be I wonder if people would be into that, viewer. I wonder if people would be into a show where you straight up live stream, and there you go. We got a working nav. Anyways, I wonder, viewer, if people would be into a show where you live stream just contributing to any open source project, not just my ones, but anyone's. It'd be interesting. Anyways, there you go, it works. We have a working navigation again, and a working homepage that is actually at the root of the server. Cool. Okay, step 1 is actually done now and bug-free. On to step 2, phase 2. Fix page headers, nav spacing. So what I'm talking about for that is we have to go over to blog, let's say. And it's not really like a huge bug, but pretty much I'm just not happy with this spacing right here. It's a little close, and when you scroll, it just doesn't look good. So I want to change these headers up a bit. So I had a kind of idea for one. I'll sketch it out real quick and I'll show you what we're gonna make so you can have an idea of what we're building towards. I was thinking it would be cool to have that box like we have it, or the content whatever column thing, and then have a banner that it kind of overlaps just a little bit, and have something like this. Doing a special drawing just for y'all. Or you. You are one person still. Viewer. If you're the same viewer, thank you for sticking through this with me. I'm very new to streaming and I don't know what I'm doing at all, but I'm having a blast. Stand by, drawing almost complete. And yeah, what would it say? Kind of not just, well, is it always going to be software development and design? Or should I just straight up go for gold and call it a game development design blog? I'm going to call it a game development design blog. Let's say game dev. Oh, thank you for joining us, viewer number 2. I'm just drawing out what my little wireframe of what this new page is going to look like. Not new page, but I'm going to refactor this header to look like. Stand by, it's almost done. Something like this. Game dev. I don't know, let's just say, how about, it's not that much different than what it already looks like, but I think it'll look cleaner. Code, tutorials, and more. All right, so, and you know, you got posts, blah, blah, blah. All right, here you go. This is what we're looking at. Just something of that variety. Know what I mean? It's kind of a common design pattern, but I think it's solid, so that's what we're gonna do. So it's time to dive into a little bit of CSS. Here we go. So I guess first things first is we gotta delete that. Where would that be? Blog about. Cool. Blog, that makes sense. So first up, that's gone. Second up, we're gonna change our stretchy div to say game d delete. Text fade. Oh no, actually, yeah, let's keep that. That's a cool effect. So just game dev. Blog. Game dev blog. How about that? That's not bad. All right. Yeah, game dev blog. I'm cool with that. I think that looks all right. Or why don't we just, instead of blog, we'll say what we're actually posting. So game dev tutorials, code snippets, and more. Maybe ditch that apostrophe just so it looks normal. Yeah, sure. Should title case that probably. Okay, grammar check done. Grammarly ain't got nothing on my English chops, bruh. Just kidding. I probably could learn so much from Grammarly. I just don't feel like paying for it. Anyways, all right. Let's move on to, oh good, it's already in a header element. That's perfect. Let's jump in here, content box. Oh, that's next thing we're gonna fix, but we'll get to that after. So content box. So we do need to move that down a little further, I would say. So content box has a padding of 20 at the top. Header has a padding of 35 at the top. So we're looking at 55 pixels of padding. Should I even use padding or should I just use a height? Oh, yeah, we're gonna have to change this a fair bit anyways. So yeah, why don't we just refactor this to use a height? So height, let's say, that's probably too big, 200 px. That is too small. Okay, I was wrong. Maybe that is big enough, 300. Oh yeah, that looks good. So 300 pixels, good. Just the one header, H1 element in there? Cool, that'll work perfect. So let's see. Is that big enough? Oh, I'm gonna have to ditch the content box padding though. That's fine, we'll do that in a sec. All right, padding is fine, we can leave that. It's just maybe a little sneak bigger, 350. Yeah, I like that better. Okay, so 350 high, and we'll say display flex to flex box the hell out of it. Justify, oops, or flex direction. Just lock that in as row. And hey, shout out to GX Evolved for the follow. Nice, man. Thank you. Yo, I like the style, bro. Thanks, dude. I appreciate that very much. I'm totally new at this, so if you got any criticism, fire away. So anyways, justify content. I believe that would be stretch, correct? Because we want it to stretch on the x-axis. Okay, no, I'm wrong. Oh, you know what? That's not even a, we don't need to specify that actually. Yeah, that's fine. We don't need to specify that. We're just gonna make that width 100% and that'll cover that. All right, align items, center. Look at that, magic of Flexbox, people. Just give this a 100% width so it looks normal. Or even, actually, we could be even more Flexbox about it and say Flex 1. Why not? Let's make it more Flexboxy. Cool, so that's line 60 of main.css, which is responsible for the header h1. So let's head on over there. Line 60, and bam, look at that. So flex, not float, you goat. Flex 1, cool. Done number 1. And what do we change on the header? We changed the height, the display, the flex direction, and the align items. You know what? Make my life easier and go like that. Chrome's on it, you know? Chrome developer tools are ace. I think it's very unique and original. Cool. I appreciate that a lot. That's awesome, man. Header class page, header.page, so line 56. So we're right there, header.page. Put that at the bottom, why not? And see, that's what I'm saying, like Chrome DevTools is on it. If you uncheck one of these and copy that whole block, it knows to comment it out. It still gives it to you because it's still there, but it comments it out, so it does nothing. Isn't that brilliant? And refresh the page, and there we go. Our changes are solidified. Cool. Next step, let's up the width on this, which is gonna be hard now that I think about it because it's inside the content box. But I'm already thinking ahead. This is actually gonna be, that's actually gonna be good for us because if we move it out of the content box, suddenly we don't have to worry about changing the padding on the content box. Or, well, in theory, we'll see how it looks. So where would that live? Let's just do a global search. Class equals content box. Oh, it's in all the layouts. Drat. This is another example of bad coding, by the way, you guys, is There's something in coding called DRY. It's a concept. It stands for don't repeat yourself, which is exactly what I'm doing right here. I have repeated myself 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, possibly, nope, just 5 times, but it's enough. five repeats in 5 files is not ideal. Anyways, oh, let's see. Got another in the chat. I like JavaScript, and I think Chrome DevTools and browser tools is one of the reasons. I like JavaScript, and I think Chrome DevTools and browser tools is one of the reasons. Yeah, for sure. Could you show that commenting out trick? Oh yeah, totally. So if say you've got like this block of CSS that you're messing with in DevTools, if for some reason you didn't want display flex to show, uncheck it, right? You know about that. But what the cool part is if you copy this whole block now, including that little spot, the display flex that you just unchecked, and then rock on over to one of your CSS files and say, just pretend we didn't have any of that. If you paste it in, the one that you unchecked is commented it out. Commented out. Excuse me. So it's just cool. Like it knows, it knows that you have it in there, but it also knows that you commented it out. So it knows you don't want it in there. And yeah, I just thought that was a really clever UX choice on their part. That's the commenting out trick. Yeah, right? Oh shit. Yeah, it's cool. Tons of little like Easter eggs in here. I learn something new about Chrome DevTools like every other day. It's cool. It's vast is what it is. Anyways, let's keep at it. So I don't actually know what layout we're using for this file. Probably page, which isn't on there. Great. Post, no. Oh, blog, right. Okay, so, we already have it open. Brilliant. Okay, here we are. Oh, that's why I was being lazy about it, because I've got crazy markup on the go. Yeah, the reason I've got game dev split out into like a million spans with the little left and right HTML brackets as well is because, see this here? When we resize this for mobile or all you responsive design nerds out there like myself, check it out. The spacing between the letters is not fixed. The letter spacing actually adapts. I was very pleased with that. Very, very happy with that. So yeah, I actually want to learn my way around Chrome DevTools better. My goal is to be a pro this year. Nice. I'm familiar to a degree, but nowhere near mastery, which would be nice. I'm totally with you. I'm right there too. I would never consider myself a master of DevTools, but I too, I would love to be, because yeah, I bet you my development process could be like a million times faster if I really took the time to learn about it. I'm glad we're not having any audio bugs or anything. I was a little worried about that. Always get worried about that. So anyways, now we got to drop the header right outside of the content box. Let's just save that and see what happens. Whoops, stretched all the way, but that's okay. Okay, yeah. We are gonna have to change the markup of this header a little bit because we still need it to align its margins with the with this box. Well, do we though? It almost draws more attention to the fact that it's, well, yeah, I'm just gonna make it the way I drew it and maybe tweak it later, but for now this will be all right. So we're just gonna throw that, excuse me, an extra div in there. I'm just gonna cover this while I cough. That probably did nothing, but sorry, I'm trying to save your ears. Oh, I know I'm coughing so much. It's because I need some drink. Also, I'm just a rampant consumer of energy drinks. It's so bad, but it's so good. I love them. Monster, if you're watching this, sponsor me. I'm available. Oh, more messages. I just use Bootstrap, but it would be ideal to use Basic-Tricks for having responsiveness. Without distracting you too much, how do you get responsiveness without Bootstrap? Well, it's, let's see. I guess the main things with making responsive design without a framework like Bootstrap or something is just making sure that you're not using fixed widths on everything. So like, for example, this would be a fixed width right here, this header.page thing. I honestly have no idea what that's selecting, but so it's saying 350 pixels, which is a fixed unit. So it's always going to be 350 pixels no matter what the screen size. If you changed that to say, let's say 50, well, you don't really use that too often. So let's say you used 100%. Now it fills the entire screen, and no matter what screen you're on, it's always going to be 100% of that screen width. So that's part of it. That would be kind of like the fluid design part of it, I suppose. And then a little further down in the file, if we go down here, you see these little wrappers, these purple things here. These are called media queries, that's the real heart of responsive design, I would say, because there's actually kind of better ways of doing this. There's a whole argument of creating things desktop first versus mobile first, but I'm still doing desktop first, I believe. Yeah, I think so. So that's not really the best way to do it, but anyways, it does kind of depend on how you're designing it, and sometimes desktop first makes sense, sometimes mobile first makes sense. Anyways, enough of that. That's not really the important thing here. That's just an ongoing argument on the internet, but excuse me, burping on the microphone again. So what this is saying, though, is so it's saying this @media blah 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 is basically a condition within your CSS. It's saying if the max width of like the page, so this width, I guess you can't really see where I'm pointing, but come back. That well, the width in the corner right there. When I move this around, if you can see that little, come on. It is all in the CSS, for sure. Is there any header code needed? Yes, actually. Ooh, thank you for mentioning that. That is important as well. I totally was about to skip over that. You need one meta tag, which is this here. If you just look up responsive meta tag, it's always like the first result. I totally never memorize it, to be perfectly honest. I just find it and adjust it the way I like it every time. But yeah, this here is just making it so that the page doesn't auto like scale. It's making it so that it's saying to the browser, particularly browsers on a phone, it's saying, hey, I know what I'm doing. This website is responsive. Leave me alone. Don't rescale this on me because you think it's an old desktop site from the 90s that we need to make a little better for a phone. It's just saying, there you go, I know what I'm doing. My site is responsive. It's set up to handle any size, so render it the same way it looks on this. Because otherwise, on some phones, like if you scale it way down, like if you're on a phone size like this, it wouldn't know to like scale everything accordingly. It would just show this big desktop site but kind of zoomed out. So that's what that meta tag is doing. So yes, good question. There is header code needed, that one meta tag, and then you're good to go. And yeah, it's all in the CSS and that meta tag, and you can do stuff with JavaScript, but it's generally advised that you just do stuff primarily using your CSS. Anyhow, back to centering this baby. All right, so we put in our extra div, yes, and we're gonna have to tweak a couple things here. So, oh, good Lord, where is it? You know what I'm gonna do for a little bit more simplicity or complexity, depending on your worldview. Have blog over here so I can see the markup easy, and the CSS over here. So we're looking for header.page, but not in the media queries. But yeah, anyways, the code in the media queries is just, it's modifying, excuse me, sorry. It's modifying the code that you specified above. So like what I'm doing for this site is I'm specifying I'm generally specifying what it looks like on a desktop site first, hence desktop first, and then down in the media queries, I'm overwriting properties of whatever selectors, whatever anything to, nice, cool, awesome, I'm glad that helped out. Yeah, and anyway, so you basically just overwrite, you use the cascading nature of CSS, aka cascading style sheets, to cascade over one another or something, I don't know. Anyway, all right, header.page. Oh, height 350, whoops. I was showing you a bad example earlier, but yeah. How did I not know what that was? I was literally just working on it. My memory, I don't even know. So we're going to ditch that flex one out of header.page, and we're going to throw that in header.page div. And that HTML bracket right there, the little arrow, is just saying I'm looking at the direct descendants of the direct children of this element. So it'll only select this div, but if I put another div somewhere further in there, which you shouldn't do because you shouldn't put divs in h1 tags, but if you did that, it wouldn't select any of those divs. It would only select the first child, not the first child, but the first children level. I don't know. I'm really into the science and technology streams on Twitch lately, and I look forward to seeing your progress. Thanks, dude. Yeah, I don't know if you were here earlier, but this web part of it is kind of just temporary. I'm just finishing off my website, and once that's live, I'm going to be diving into some game development, so I hope you're into that too. I find the Bootstrap on my site is creating bloat or just a lot of unused code. Yeah, for sure. I agree with that. I'm not a huge proponent of I'm not a huge fan of Bootstrap. I've used CSS frameworks a little bit here and there, but I generally like to just do everything myself from scratch. I know that's a lot of extra work, and sometimes the project calls for using a framework because you just got to get it up more rapidly. And yeah, also kind of goes against my own argument of this is a rapid development project, because CSS frameworks are great for rapid prototyping. However, I like the flexibility of being able to do anything I want without overwriting a bunch of other styles, and yeah, that's why I like doing it all from scratch, because there's no other, you just have to overwrite the browser defaults, and even then you can actually get a it's called like reset.css, I think. It's just a project that like resets it to like a kind of slightly more stylized, but the important part is it resets all of your CSS to like a baseline CSS, so it's the same on every browser, which sometimes you get discrepancies in that, which is annoying. I should probably I'll be right back. I'm just gonna grab right, I'm wired in. Stand by, I'm just gonna get a cup of water because I feel like I should not just be pounding energy drinks at 10:30 at night. Sorry if I'm hurting your guys' ears. Totally unintentional. All right, should be good. Hopefully you can still hear me. But yeah, on the topic of Bootstrap, yeah, I'm not really a fan. And I mean, it's cool and like their style is nice, but personally, I don't use it generally. I did once use Material UI on a different site I'm working on, actually a development blog for one of the first games I was making a little while back. This one here. So this is a nice, fairly kind of minimalist-y CSS framework that I built this one with. It's called Material UI, I believe. No, it's not Material UI, sorry. That is also a thing, but Material UI is for React. Material CSS? Yeah, Materialize, that's what it's called, this one here. So I'll throw this in the chat for you guys if you want. There you go. That's for you. It's a good framework if you're still feeling the framework approach, but I do personally recommend if you can, and the other good thing about building things without a framework is you get to really understand like how CSS works. So it means like when you inevitably encounter styling bugs, it's going to be easier to figure it out because like you have that like solid foundation in CSS. I feel really bad for people who like go to those coding bootcamp things and like they get taught a CSS framework right away and they don't get taught how CSS actually works. I think that's a tragedy. My laptop's a little warm. But it's not, it's fine. Laptops are supposed to get hot, right? What is the CSS thing that you mentioned? Yeah, that I think that's the one I mentioned, Materialize CSS. It's pretty solid, I like it. And it gives you, it's based off of the Google's Material Design or their first iteration of it, or they probably keep it up to date, I'm not sure, but yeah, it's cool. JAL97 says CSS learning equals time plus. True, it's true. CSS learning is time consuming, and it's not like other programming where it's all based in like very logical things. It's still visually logical, but I understand why some hardcore like server-side devs just despise CSS. I get it. I kind of see why. Yeah, CSS can be easy to learn but slow. Yeah, it's true. It's a long process. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I've been writing CSS. I'm not trying to brag on myself or anything, but like I've been writing CSS since I was like, I want to say like 12 or 13, because like I've always really wanted to make games, and the very first games I was making, I couldn't afford to buy the Flash software, so I would build like document object model DOM based JavaScript browser games where the character was literally like a little box with like a text face on it, and you could like move them around with the keys, and like it was all done by manipulating CSS, and it was a mess. But I so wish I still had those games somewhere. I think the operating system I was using when I developed those would have been Windows 98, I think. So that kind of dates it a little bit. I'm 25 now, if that is any help to anyone, which it's not, but anyways, back to this. So header page div, we're putting flex 1 on that. Ooh, whoops, not float, come on. Get your head out of your bum. All right, anyways, so that's flex 1, so that's, ooh, sorry, wrong-o. Or kinda right, because this is, oh, you know what? Okay, yeah, we need to do a little bit of style swapping around here. So, you know, we could effectively just put this on the div. Yeah, right, yeah, we can just do this. So put that on the div. This is now gonna be, give it a background color so it actually stands out for a minute. And I'm just going to use RGBA instead of actually defining it, so it's a little easier make life easier. 25% of black. Just leave that as is for now. That ought to do the trick. And what we need to do now for this is we got to say width is 100%, a hundy. Max width is whatever the max width of that container is, which I don't know off the top of my head. Content box, I guess. Yeah, so content box is 900 pixels. Cool. So max width is also 900 pixels. Leave the height and all that the same. That should be good. Oh, no, one more property we're missing. Margin, 0, auto. Awesome trick this for you CSS fans, or, CSS annoyed fans. whatever. Anyways, if you specify a width on something as 100%, it'll fill the whole screen, right? Got that established. Then you specify a max width on it. So in this case, 900 pixels. Now we've gone from a full screen to maxing out at 900 pixels. Put margin 0 auto on it, and it's going to position it 0 pixels on the top and bottom, and a margin of auto on the left and right, which means it auto centers. They kind of cancel each other out, and it pushes it right into the middle. 900 pixels, 100% width. Why would you define 100% width, you may be asking? Now, this is a responsive trick. So what happens when you define 100% width but have a max width and this margin 0 auto is it'll be centered with that width and it'll max out at that. But if you scale the browser down slowly, once it gets to 900 pixels and starts squishing it, or, well, spoiler, that's what happens, is it squishes it. It doesn't just say like 900 width and then, you know, you scale the browser down and it makes a scroll bar or something. It'll actually scale it with the browser. Fun trick. Oh, let's see, sorry. I saw your Instagram animation thing on running. I'm actually taking a class on digital animation this semester. I'm 31 and I feel being able to do animation in-house is so important. Are the games you're making JavaScript browser games, CSS users and abusers? Nice. Yeah, they will be browser games, but I'm making them so they're going to be compatible on basically any device with a modern browser. And I was recently looking into ways that you can port web games over to at least Xbox, maybe PlayStation, but at least Xbox One. So that'll be coming in the future. But yeah, they're browser games and all JavaScript. I'm going to be using the library or it's more of a framework really, called that was it. Phaser.js. Come on. Which is apparently not secure. That's great. But anyways, Phaser.js. Boom. I'll drop this in the chat too for you guys. Yeah, this is the framework I'll be using for the game development, which I do kind of recommend because like you can guarantee switch to in the near future. Oh, cool. Yeah, I hope so. You like Phaser? Nice, cool. Yeah, Phaser's sick. I love it. They did a really good job on it, and the library that it was originally based on, I think they've since rewrote all the functionality themselves, but the library that it was based on is another one that's also really sick and really good if you're making like not specifically games, but if you're just making some kind of like interactive graphics heavy application. Oh man, I'm not going to be able to remember it now. I've looked into it. I like Phaser. I've looked into it. I have used Phaser before. Just basic little games. That game Avon's Adventure that I brought up just to show you Material UI, I did make like a version 0.001 whatever of it. So this is made with Phaser. Take a minute to load. Look at that wonderful title screen. Anyways, yeah, this little ditty right here is made with Phaser. My buddy in Texas drew those little hooded and toqued guys. Pretty cool. But yeah, I made this with Phaser, and it's leveraging a few of the features, like it's using the sprites, the physics, the animation stuff, and also the tile sheet and / like map making functionality. Pretty solid. Anyways, that's not what we're here for. Oh, and that thing I was trying to remember the name of, that's really going to bug me and I'm probably going to forget, but thanks, man. The games that I start making for real they might start that way, but I promise you guys they're going to get properly legit as long as we don't run into browser limitations or like performance bottlenecks or something. But you know what? Even if we run into that stuff, we'll power through. We'll find a way. There is a way. There's always a way. Anyways, sorry. I'm just going to take 1 minute and try and remember this because it's important and it's a very good library. Just another one to add to your repertoire. Oh, you know what? It might be in my I might have something in my favorites for it. No, apparently not. Arg. Just one more minute trying to remember, I swear. You know what? Let's just ask Google. What was Phaser.js based off of? Pixie.js. Boom, that's what it is. Pixie.js. Here you go. This is the last library that I was trying to think of. Solid library. Just check, wait until, yeah. Look at this wicked demo they made. This is JavaScript running on a canvas using WebGL, which is sick that that even exists. But look at that, isn't that sick? Anyways, I'll throw a link to this in the chat as well, just so you got it. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. There you go. Pixie.js. Ooh, anyways, we're an hour and 20 minutes in, gotta get into it. Yeah, so right, we're just refactoring this header a little bit. I'll try to stop going on tangents unless you guys are enjoying them, which I hope so, because I go on tangents a lot. Yeah, that doesn't even look half bad, but it certainly doesn't show off the stretchiness of the thingamajig. So why is the header not getting big? We got a big it, bro. Let's see. I'm thinking, for one thing, I'm thinking we might want to add a little bit of extra padding to the top, just so that it offsets for the navigation over here. But anyways, it's probably, let's look at the computed. Oh, here's another good trick, another DevTool trick for you. Let's just make it a little smaller. Go over to this tab. It'll either say computed, it'll be a tab that says computed, or it'll be right here on the right side underneath the box model. Oh, I know, those animations are wild. This panel here, the computed panel, I kind of prefer doing it in this view, but the computed panel is solid because it shows you what the actual computed value of your CSS property is. So, for example, if I haven't set, I should probably know what I'm looking for, but if I haven't set a flex, if I haven't set a flex property, for example, but it's defaulting to something, we can look at it up in here, and look, it breaks it down for you. It doesn't actually show the flex property, which I thought it would, but anyways, see, so it shows you all the flex properties and what they are currently actually computed to, not like the value that you set in CSS. It's cool, anyways. It's my fault. I'm loving the stuff, and the stuff I'm learning from you. Oh man, you are great at explaining things, and you have passion. It's cool. Thanks, man. Thank you. Thank you, GX. I'm not sure how to say your names though. Sorry, GX. Oh, GX Evolved. That makes sense. GX Evolved. Thank you, GX Evolved. I'm glad I can pass on any knowledge I can. The thing that's, by the way, all of these games that I'm going to be making are going to be accompanied with a development blog, which is what that blog with the materialized CSS was. So this blog is going to have just posts and stuff explaining, if I ever make something cool that's a little bit unique in one of my games, I'll write up a blog post and explain how I did it. And I'll also be doing it in the live streams, but the blog post will be more concise and down to earth and blah-de-da. That's not perfect, but anyway, whatever. Get to that in a minute. So I guess, yeah, really, the answer, we just need to put flex 1 on here. That's all it is. I gotta get cracking. I'm trying to keep these sessions under an hour, or not under an hour, we're way past that, but under 2 hours if I can. I don't know what the upload limit is on YouTube, but I feel like I'm I'm dancing with that line a little bit. If I'm making videos over 2 hours. So header page 1, so we do still need flex 1 there. Oh yeah, of course. Well, yeah, anyways, whatever. It must be inheriting from this header page something. Anyway, whatever, that fixes it. So next step, this is oh, you know what, sorry, this isn't done yet. We gotta, hold on. Do a little bit of tweaking on the content box. I'm just gonna do the next step while we're here because it's in this area. What kind of games do I make? JL97 would like to know what kind of games I make. Well, the first game I was making was this Avon's Adventure game, which was going to be like an adventure platformer kind of game with maybe a few little RPG elements thrown in there, but mostly adventure. However, that project I've decided to put on hold because I've got a little bit of interest in my friend wants to help me out with this project, which I'm thinking will be kind of cool. And I actually just did up a little bit of concept art for it the other day, which is, it's kind of shitty, but like it's just a little rough sketch to illustrate the scale of something in the game, which you will see shortly. It's the game that I'm going to be working on. The title, the pending title is No Place Like ... I'm not going to say home, just No Place Like. And the whole premise is it's about these robots that Earth is all messed up, and it's kind of like an interstellar situation where we've used up our resources and the Earth is basically telling us to get lost and find a new home. So that's what we decide to do. And in finding this new home, the way we do it in this futuristic world is we have robots now that fight wars for us. Yeah, I shouldn't say just men, but people fighting wars is a thing of the past. That's old school. Nowadays, robots fight wars. But the UN or whoever's ruling the world kind of gets together and decides, okay, you know what? Instead of using our robots to kill each other, why don't we send them off into space, let them do something productive for society, i.e. find us a new home, and that's just what they do. However, things don't go quite so smoothly. They calculate that the robots will find them a new home with like a 97% success rate or something within 25 years, let's just say. However, when the robots, so they send off the robots, it's all good, they should be back in 25 years. Instead, what ends up happening is 50 years pass. And at this point, things are getting critical. Things are getting out of hand. People are fighting wars again over food now and whatever, like scarce resources that are getting real scarce nowadays. And the whole idea is that these robots basically come back and they said, actually, we searched the whole universe and we couldn't find nothing. This is the only place that supports human life, and for some reason that I haven't figured out yet, also supports robot life in scare quotes. But anyways, these robots come back and they come back with a vengeance, and they're like, yep, you humans got to get gone because this is our home now and you guys have trashed it and we're going to make it nice for robot life. And anyways, then it just becomes basically a big, huge, full-on humanity versus robots war, which I know has been done to death, but I've got some kind of neat gameplay mechanics that I'd like to mess around with. Namely, like, the robots in this game are going to be giant compared to humans, and so it's going to almost have like a little bit of a Shadow of the Colossus feel, where you're fighting these things that are way bigger than you. But I'm also hoping to make use of some of the physics engines that Phaser has available, the more dynamic ones that actually have like rigid bodies and stuff, so that when you're shooting stuff, yeah. Anyways, I'm kind of going off on a rant here, but this is the concept art. It's not great, but it's, yeah. See the little person and the big robot. And they're about to duke it out. Anyways, thank you for your interest. I'm awesome that you guys are into it. Or I'm awesome. I'm very grateful that you're into it. That's what I'm trying to say. Excuse me. So anyways, back to this content box. See, if you look at the box model over here, right, big mouse it, bam, right there, you can see the padding's a little bit bigger. And originally I did this because on my old design, this menu button was kind of out a little bit further, and I wanted it so that it would fit nicely along the side there. I like the twist, thanks. Yeah, I've got some more twists in mind too, but I won't reveal anything just yet. I'll keep it all mysterious. But yeah, I'm hoping it turns out good, and I'm really excited to play around with the physics engine, like the rigid body, like the real physics engine for Phaser. I did a little bit of messing around with it, and it's super cool. Like, you can make some cool stuff. The only thing I'm a little concerned about is that the games might end up being a little bit quite, you know, I'm worried that they're only going to be able to run on like really nice computers. That was actually a rule of mine for a long time, was that I only used cheap computers because I wanted to make sure whatever I'm making would run on not just my computer, but anybody's computer. That's the whole goal, but yeah, that one might be a little bit tricky. And anyways, back to this. So you can see there's some extra padding on the side. So that was the second item or the third item on my list today, was to get rid of that extra padding. Oh, hold on. Excuse me while I just sort out my life. Cool, here we go. So fix page headers, we're doing that. Remove the right side padding, that's what we're gonna do right now. So main.css, line 125, you can see that right here in the corner, main.css, and that means line number 125. And a cool trick in VS Code is you can even be in a different file. Say I'm in main3.js and I want to jump to main.css. You press Control, I think, on Windows, or Command P, and you type main.css, highlights it. But further than that, it was what, line 125? And it went away. Main.css, and you can put a colon, line 125, press enter, jumps you to the file and to the line number. So yeah, just a neat little trick. So anyways, this 100 padding is what we want to get rid of. And actually, we can simplify this and just say 20 pixels on this. What is that? That would be top. For these, when you define for properties for like padding or margin or whatever, it goes clockwise from the top. So this is so it goes top, right, bottom, left. Yeah. So basically this just also has to be 20 pixels. I guess I'll just leave it like that because the bottom is, or you know what, let's make it like this. How about we say padding is 20 pixels, padding bottom is 0. Just cancel the bottom out, and that should fix that. There, now it occupies the full space. Well, minus the padding, but, oh, you know what? We need to put that padding on the header's inside element as well. So what would that be? Padding 35.0, that needs to be 35.20. And that was line 59. And if you're in the file, you can just type :59 and it'll jump you to whatever line number you type. Just some cool VS Code tricks. Gotta love VS Code. I think that trick also works in Sublime. I think they might have jacked it from Sublime actually, but whatever. It is what it ain't. Like twist it, grow. What is that rigid body phaser thing that you're interested in? I hope your days take off. Keep up the great. Thanks, dude. Thank you. Thank you. You're so supportive. Rigid bodies are like any game that has like a legit physics engine going on, like a little bit more than just like the Mario physics. Rigid body is like, it's a little easier to explain in 3 dimensions. Rigid body is like if you had a cube or something, and say you were in a shooter game or something, and you shot the cube, instead of just like disappearing or like moving back in a very linear fashion, if the cube like started, like if you shot it in the corner, say, and the cube started spinning off from that corner, that's a rigid body. It's like something that really, it's just like more realistic physics, basically. Too long, didn't read. That's what that would be. How are you implementing localhost WAMP ? No, I am actually on Mac, though it pains me to admit that. I'm very much a Linux guy. I love Linux, and this is a work laptop though, so I'm a little hesitant on install. It's a work laptop, and also it's very new, so I'm not sure if Linux is going to be totally compatible with it yet. So I'm kind of giving it a little bit of time before I install Linux on it. Anyways, what am I using for localhost? I'm actually just running a local server with Jekyll RB, which is, oh, you love Mac? Nice. You love the giant machine design. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, Linux is cool. I just like Linux because I love everything open source, and like, yeah, I mean, I know there's some cases where like open source hasn't caught up to like industry stuff, but yeah, it's just, I love the idealism of open source, you know, it's just awesome. Like, anyways, so yeah, I'm just using this, this command, right? Oh, no manual entry for Jekyll. Oh, because I'm using, I'll show you. Here's another link. I'm using this for my site, which is, I think I was explaining it earlier, but perhaps you weren't around yet. It's a static site generator. So you write templates like you would with like WordPress or whatever, and then instead of having a server running where you actually have to like, well, okay, so I am running a server, but a local server, but instead of running a like PHP or like Ruby or something on a server, although whatever, anyways, I'm making it more complicated than it has to be. Basically, this takes your templates, runs your posts and stuff through them, which just live in files instead of a database. And like they're saying here, no more databases. So what ends up happening is all of your files are tracked, like all of your posts are tracked in Git. So you get to leverage all that awesome functionality of source control, but for your content. And on top of that, because there's no database, what ends up happening is it just generates a whole bunch of HTML files. So like if you go to this /blog on my page, it's actually technically it's /blog/index.html. Oh, well, okay, that's technically what it is, but oh, sorry, you know what? Because I killed the server, that's why. Run that again. That's what I'm using to run my local server is Jekyll serve, that command. And boots up localhost port 4000, but you can configure it to do whatever you want. So, oops. That's funny. Does that just, oh, okay. Does not work. That's weird. I don't know why you don't need the extension, but. So yeah, that's what it's actually doing, is it's generating an index.html file under that blog folder or directory or whatever. And it generates all these HTML files. Yeah, so what happens though, what's really cool about that approach for doing it is that your site becomes lightning fast because your site doesn't have to make any database queries and it doesn't have to do any server-side crunching and rendering of whatever. It just literally is an HTML file sitting there. The browser goes boop and it's like, oh, file, brings it back, downloads it and serves it to you, and that's it. It's really that simple. It's awesome. I'll throw this in the chat too, so if you ever want to get into that. Another super cool thing about this, about Jekyll RB is that you get free hosting on GitHub with it. So that's pretty sweet. It does have to be an open source, you have to have your source code as public to get that free hosting, but if you're cool with that, then it's totally worth it. Anywho, so yeah, we were putting padding on this guy. So line 59, I think we were already there. Yeah, that just needs to be 20 instead of 0. It's going to squish it a little bit, just a little bit, but now you can see there's padding on the sides. And the reason we're putting padding on the sides, even though they're in the middle, is because when you actually end up scaling it down, when you end up scaling it way down and it gets to the point where it's squishing it, you see that padding keeps it from going flush with the edges. So just stylistically, it looks a little bit nicer to have it like that. I probably will, got to change it. I've got a media query. See, so that's a media query responsible for that. See how the padding jumps from like 20 pixels to something bigger? That's because somewhere in there I've got a media query looking for that window width, and it's adjusting the padding accordingly. Anyways, so let's just figure out where that is. Yeah, right there. See, so max width 650, so anything under 650, I know the wording is a little bit confusing, but max width 650 means under 650. We're going to apply a padding rate of 20, so if we just disable that, there you go, see, now it's normal again. So to get around that, we're just gonna find that 617 and we're gonna destroy it. Bam. There we go, refresh, and there you go. Changes are solidified. Cool, alrighty. Oh, water's helping so much. I gotta remember that when I stream. Sorry, it probably sounds yucky when I'm swallowing for you guys every time, but sorry about that. Unless I get one of those cool like radio host mics, then best I got is this lapel mic at the moment. By the way, this lapel mic, if you're ever doing some streaming or anything, any audio stuff yourself, this lapel mic is sweet. It was like, it's called the, has a weird name, I can't remember, but if you just look up cheap lapel mic, it's like one of the most recommended ones, and it was honestly like under 30 bucks for this lapel mic. And I mean, the audio is probably not awesome because I'm guessing my fans are going like crazy right now. They're not that crazy, but yeah, that's not bad at all. Nice. But yeah, so that's what I mean. Cheap mic and the audio is pretty good, hey? Yeah, so 26 bucks. Canadian bucks. I'm not sure where you guys are, but yeah, 26 Canadian. Whatever that is in your currencies. All right, so removed that right side padding. We done did that. Fix the page header. So yeah, the last thing I wanted to do with this header, for those of you who didn't see before, what? That's a thing? Okay, so that's awesome. Apparently there's a Twitch bot that reminds you to drink water. That's sick. By the way, is the chat working in the video, you guys? Just out of curiosity, like this chat, can you see this? Like, are there messages actually popping up there, or is it just being shisty? That's what that's what we're going for, by the way. For those of you who didn't see it, we're going for a layout roughly like that. It is showing up. Oh, good. It wasn't working in my last video, or my last stream, and I couldn't figure out why, and I found a solution today, but I wasn't sure if it was actually gonna work or not. So anyways, glad to hear it's working. That's awesome. That's basically all the streaming bugs I had worked out then, I guess, for now. For now, there's always more bugs. Anyways, yeah, so the last thing I wanted to do is just like push this up a bit. So it's kind of like overlapping this a little bit. I think that'd be cool. Oh, or, no, okay, I'm overcomplicating things again. I don't need to do that. Yeah, so let's see if we can't get this with the dev tools first, and then we'll port our changes over. That's what I like to do usually with CSS. Just be a little more interactive way of doing it. So I guess we can just grab the content box entirely, because there's always going to be one of these headers. So yeah, sure, let's do that. I think you do have to do a little bit of weird CSS hackiness to make this work. It pops up, then disappears instead of pushing up. Oh, the Twitch water bot? Not sure I know what you mean. Oh, maybe it's like, does it pop up on my screen or something? That'd be sick, actually. That'd be super useful. Do I stream on YouTube, this on YouTube as well? YouTube won't let me. I apparently need to be a partner or something to be able to stream. I could be wrong on that, but I need to be something to be able to stream, and I'm not that something. So at the moment, no, I'm not streaming this on YouTube, but I probably, if I ever get to that point where I'm allowed to, I'll probably stream to both at the same time, if you can do that, which I think you can. I do, however, once I finish these streams, I edit them and I just improve the audio quality a little bit and just remove the background noise as best I can. And I throw some music on there too and upload the whole stream to YouTube. So if you ever miss one, it should eventually end up on YouTube. It might not be like the next day, but I'll get to it eventually. I do at the moment also have a full-time job that I have to work, so at the moment this is a side project, but I'm hoping in the future to get like a Patreon account or something like that going so that maybe I can support myself off this, because honestly, my goal is not to be rich. My goal is to just work on my own projects full time, and nothing would make me happier than that in the world. So yeah, anyways, that's my little spiel. My huge tangent of an answer to your question, sorry. Padding top, we're also going to set to 0 now. Why 0, you ask? Because we're going to say, oops, margin is being set to 0 down there, so this has to go under that. Margin top. This is the first way I'm going to try this. It's probably not going to work, but oh man, it might work. Oh, look at that. It works. Awesome. Nice. I thought we were going to have to go down I thought we were going to have to go deep into the dungeon of CSS hacky business to make this work, but we don't. That's amazing. Okay, so cool. Anyways, let's say just overlap it by what, 50 pixels, I guess? Maybe a little more. 60, sure. That is exactly what I want to do. Oh. Also try Indiegogo or Kickstarter if your game starts off. Yeah, for sure. That might be a good way to go. That is exactly what I want to do. Nice. Honestly, the reason I was thinking Patreon is because I did actually already make one like ages ago, but I just never really promoted it or anything. But the reason I wanted to go the Patreon route is because I really like that it's a recurring model. It's not just like for a one-time project. But the other thing is because these games I'm making, I can't remember if I mentioned this or not, but the games I'm making are actually, they're all going to be open source. So the idea is that yes, you can just play the games if that's what you're into, but if you're a fellow developer like you guys are, you can actually like go in and you can like clone the project to your machine, and you can poke around in the source code and figure out how stuff works. And so it's kind of like an educational tool, but then also it's going to be, if you want to like be really like legit and like start like contributing to a game yourself, then you're totally welcome to start doing that. You can submit pull requests to the main repository, and then as long as the code's good and nothing's broken and you're not doing anything like super weird to the game, then I'll just approve it, merge it in, and it's like a game that we're all building together. The reason I want to do a Patreon account is just because, you know, if I could fund myself, like if I could pay my wage and just, if I could pay my wage off Patreon, then I could just work on those projects full time. And, you know, yeah, that's my spiel, spiel. Anyways, back to this. I'm so glad that just worked right away. So because we're decreasing, I suppose, this margin by 60 pixels, but actually I think let's make it even, let's go with another cool Chrome trick, which you probably know, but if you highlight the box, which has pixels in it, you can press up and down on your arrow keys and just fiddle around with them. Nice trick. Let's do 80, see how that looks. Just maybe straight 100. I'm weird about my numbers. I like particular numbers. Yeah, that's good. How about, so 100 pixels from overlapping, 100 pixel overlap. So now the thing to do is to also go into this header element and throw a padding on the bottom that is like the opposite of that offset we just did. So it's 100 pixels, so like that. So now it looks like a pretty standard, oh, actually, you know what? Sorry, wrong, because we already have padding, but it's on the div on the inside. So the padding on the bottom at the moment is 35, so 35 plus 100 would be 135. So we'll say padding bottom, 135 pixels. And now, this still looks a little wacky, but we just have to adjust the top as well, and it should be good to go. And I wanted to do that anyways to sort of offset from the nav bar, so this might be a way of doing that. See how it looks? Why don't, actually, instead of saying padding bottom, just make it top and bottom, 130. That didn't work at all. Whoa, that's wacky. Oh, because I'm setting a height explicitly. What did I just do? I increased that by 200, so this height also has to increase by 200, so that'd be 550. Okay, it's a little bigger than I was envisioning it, but I think that's all right. Patreon is great. I'm looking to start working on open source projects. I'm looking forward to watching your progress. If I can contribute, I would. Awesome, dude. Thanks very much. I very much look forward to working together with people on stuff. So if that's you, that's fantastic. That's super cool. All right. Sorry, I'm in Victoria, British Columbia, and unfortunately our city has a bit of a problem with, like, sad to say, homeless people. And you know, I know no one chooses to be homeless, and it's a horrible, horrible, horrible thing, but it obviously does stuff to your mind, because, like, I'm sitting in an office, well, a co-working space, and right out the front, we've got like a window right there, and it's like, yeah, the people just walk by a lot. It's late here for me. It's 11:30 almost, and yeah, the people just walk by yelling random shit, and yeah, there's basically just a lady pacing outside our window yelling. Anyways, not important. Sad more than anything. I'm not really digging this. It looks like there's more space here than there is here, which there is. So bear with me for a moment while I screenshot this bad boy so I can actually check the width and the height, or the space between these two. Or actually, you know what? I could probably math it out myself, couldn't I? Whatever. I'm too tired to math. So capture that, open that. Hopefully they. I just updated Mac and they changed. No, I don't want to draw on the picture. No, stop, delete. I don't know. Revert, whatever. Why would it not just be Control Z? No, I don't want to draw anything. I want to. No, I don't want to crop it. No, I don't want to. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I admit defeat. Don't save. Oh, more chat. Are you working on a game idea? I don't do game dev. I'm not gonna lie, I'm about making money, but I have to do what I'm passionate about. Yeah, that's fair, man. I totally gotcha. Game dev is super hard. Nothing is easy, nothing worth something anyways, though game development is what attracted me to development. Hey, stick around, JL. I mean, I'm going to be posting tutorials as I'm making these games. So like my goal is to eventually have like this full game development curriculum that people can subscribe to and like, you know, just really like learn how to do it. Cause yeah, that's exactly what attracted me to development in the first place too, is when I was really young, I played Zelda: The Oracle of Seasons on Game Boy Color. And that game just like launched me into a whole other world of like, this is the coolest thing. I have to learn how this works. And yeah, I was lucky enough to find this summer camp that teaches like Flash game development to childrens. And I was a children at the time, and it just so happened I got into it and did a 1-week summer camp on how to make games, and then just kept self-learning from there. And yeah, the rest is history. When do you think you will begin work on There's No Place Like ... Yeah, I know. I might finesse the name a little bit, but honestly, I'm not even kidding. I was planning on like spacing the streams I've been doing today and the last few days over like a week, but I've just been going hard and like streaming every night. And once this one's done, the next one was gonna be the Easter eggs, but I'm actually, you know what? No, we're almost at 2 hours. Okay, so tomorrow's stream is going to be Easter eggs on my site, and then the day after tomorrow we're going to begin dev on No Place Like Home. Not if you can read my horrific writing, Where's the camera? If you can read my horrific writing, that's what it says is slated for Sunday, but it is no longer going to be Sunday because I have accelerated my timeline. So yeah, that's when the plan is to begin work on No Place Like. Name pending. Let's get back to my notes for this stream. Yeah, basically after we fix this header, that's it for this stream. We're going to push things live, and I'll show you that process too, because it's kind of interesting. We get to do it all through Git, which is awesome. What are Easter eggs? Oh, yeah, it's kind of the same thing as in a movie. It's like so on the logo for my site, for example, this is one of them that I'm plan on making. So if you hover over it, you'll notice it turns darker, but the logo is actually clickable. So I'm thinking of having like a little animation or something cool happen on the logo when you click on it. Another one I was thinking of doing is when you open this up, if you wait for a few seconds instead of just immediately clicking on something, they'll have some like random like white sort of line art, random pictures just start being like sketched out over top of in the overlay. Those would be examples of Easter eggs. They're just random like little extra pieces of functionality. Like, you know, when you find something in a game that has nothing to do with the story, but it's just some random cool little thing they threw in there for fun. That's pretty much an Easter egg. Name sounds like a scary game. I mean, it sounds scary game and the plot could be scary. It could be a scary game. Personally, I'm not really one for horror games. My brother is super into them, and I just don't understand it personally. But, I mean, you know, if that's what the people want, then perhaps one day. Anyways, I gotta do a little bit of box math here. So we're offsetting this by negative 100 pixels. The padding on the inner header is 135. Oh, it's because I've got an arbitrary height for the inner div on that header that it's looking a little funky. You know what, maybe why don't we just make, instead of, okay, here's what we're gonna do. So the padding top, so we'll put this as just padding 20 all around. Oh, right, I'm gonna have to change that height too. So anyways, padding bottom will indeed be 135 pixels. Now, padding top, so the way we got that 135 pixels is because we're going over that line by 100 pixels, and there was originally a 35 pixel bottom and top on this header. So that's how we got that. Now, the next thing we got to get is the height of this nav bar, which is 70 pixels according to our wonderful developer tools. And we'll then offset, we'll give this a padding top, not of 135 pixels, but of, what was it, 70? So 70 plus 35 would be 105 pixels, and now it's offset again, but last thing we got to do is adjust the height of this we got to remove the difference between these two. Don't ask me why. Sometimes stuff just makes sense, but I can't really explain why. I'm gonna work on that so I can actually explain it to you guys and be a little more helpful than just like, I don't know, it just works. But anyways, trust me that we have to minus, or we'll see if it works. It would be funny if I was wrong, but minus 105 from 135, which is 30. So that difference, 30 pixels, is what we have to take away from this. So 550 minus 30 is 520. And yeah, that's looking a little better to me. Actually, it still doesn't look quite right though. Why is that? Take a look at the, Oh, no, that's not what I was going for. Hold the phone. Oh, you know what it is? It's because that nav bar is a little bit big. Like if we scroll down by like 1 pixel, I bet we'll be able to see it. There you go. So yeah, that is what we're going for. So it might not aesthetically be like perfect, but it's like super intense, mathematically designed, perfect. It's not perfect, but nothing's perfect. Anyways, point is, the last thing we got to do on here is just put a background on that content box, and that background will be the same as the body. So we can just copy that entire line, throw that right on the background. Whoa, wrong. Oh, not on that, because that's got padding. We wanted to put that on the main. Boop. There you go. Whoa, the chat's going off the rails. I like that. Nice. Can't actually remember what that was for, I'm sorry, but GX Evolved, what kind of development do you do? I'm just catching up on the chat, don't mind me. Was the Matrix movie idea scary? If you think about it, but it wasn't a horror. Yeah, I feel your game is that kind of freaky. Okay, cool. I'm into that kind of freaky. I like The Matrix. The Matrix is a sweet movie. I'm like this entrepreneur guy trying to figure it out. I tried to start a live streaming website when Twitch was still Justin TV and had to outsource website work to Austin, Texas. That was in 2011. I've been teaching myself code slowly but surely. Right now, I'm looking to build a brand around an idea I'm working on for a physical product, and I am considering a game to go with it. I'm into machine learning applications. Oh, yeah, you're so right, dude. That potential. Oh, machine learning is next level. That's when people say like, oh, that's next level. It's like, no, machine learning is next level. Anyways, I'm going to start porting this CSS over. So main.primary is 141 of main.css. So we jump to line 141. And we'll throw that background color on there. Step 1 complete. Next, we want to get that margin for the content box. Content box is 127, that's right there. Boom, margin, cool. I feel like someone must have made a tool to like automate exactly what I'm doing right now, but certainly haven't found it yet because I would be using that every day. And if that tool doesn't exist, let's make an open source one. Hell yeah. I feel you though, for like the business side of things, like I get that. I know like open source is great and all, but like I get that money does make the world go around and like everybody needs money to survive. Hence, that's why I'm thinking of doing the Patreon thing. It's just like, you know, at the end of the day, everyone does need money in this world. So it's kind of the sad reality, but yeah. And also, you know, for some people, like making businesses is actually really exciting, you know, and it is cool in a lot of ways. Like I think the company I'm working for is like a perfect example of that at the moment. You know, it really does just feel like a bunch of bros that are kind of got together, made a cool company, and like, I think it's all about like what your goals are for the company, you know? So like, if your goal is just to get filthy rich and make stacks and stacks of money, then like, you know, maybe that's your thing, but like, if your goal is to make an awesome workplace for people, i.e. my job, that's amazing, right? Like, who doesn't want an awesome workplace? So yeah, I think it's all about the goals of the business. Well, goals of anything really, not even just businesses. Line 59, back to this. Gonna have to get better at like coming back from tangents. I feel like that's a good skill for any streamer, is to be able to like go off on a tangent and then be real quick about coming right back to what you were doing, or any coding streamer anyways. I feel like game streamers have it a little easier because they're doing their thing the whole time. And I shouldn't say that, they probably don't have it easier, but anyways. Refresh that and it's almost right. Oh, we just forgot the height, that's all. It's always a tense moment when you refresh. Oh, but I don't remember what the height was, shoot. Well, we can recalculate it. It's 135 plus 105 is 240. 240 plus 240? Is that right? That's right, but is that the way I do it? It must be. 240 plus 350 is, stand by while my brain computes math at the speed of a snail. 240 plus 350 is 90 plus 200, 590, sure. 590. I feel like this is wrong though. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, no, that's right. 590. I think that's what we had it before. If you spend a little time here and there and learn various technologies that seem impossible or super challenging, it goes a long way. In 10 years, you're going to be an expert. Open source is good. Business is just a fun challenge. You're bread and butter for cash flow. I was watching a great video last night, Mark Zuckerberg giving a lecture at Harvard in 2005. Facebook is exploding, and he mentioned considering making this Facebook application open source, but the main reason he didn't is because writing the license was too much work. That's hilarious. I've never heard of that, but that's funny. Just the legal side of it was too much, so he's like, nah, we're not going to do that anymore. No, it's for sure, like, open source licenses are, I don't know anything about legal stuff. Legal stuff honestly scares the hell out of me. But yeah, I imagine like creating a license that enables like anybody to work on a project without copyright and without anyone getting mad about that. I don't know, that's gotta be hard, but whatever. It's doable somehow. They did it in, what was the first open source license? I think it was the GNU license was the first one. I want to look up when that came out real quick. Release date, is that what you call a thing for a license? Probably not. Released in June of 1990. Oh no, that's version 2. Okay, hold on. Let's just look this up real quick. Little Wikipedia tangent, shall we? Released. History, version 1. Version 1 was released February 25th, 1989. Cool. There you go. That's the more you know. Just updating myself on the chat again. Right now I work 3 days a week to get just enough money to cover my needs and spend the rest of my time working on building myself. Oh, JL, you know what's up. That is the way to go through life, man. You've got it. I seriously, before I got this job I have now, which I love, by the way, I'm not trying to like pump my employer or anything. They're honestly just a wicked company to work for. Yeah, for real, like, I really considered just getting a night shift job at a gas station right beside my house that was hiring for that, because I talked to the person who worked there and he said it was really chill and you can use a laptop while you're working because hardly any customers come in. And to me, that was like almost my dream, was getting paid enough money to live and working on my stuff full time. That was like as close to my dream as I've gotten so far in life, even though I didn't actually apply for the job. I was really considering it. Another factor in the reason I didn't apply is because I actually need to have a remote job at the moment, because in a week I'm taking off to go to Toronto, and I'll be in Toronto for a few days, and then I'm pinging from one side of Canada right over to the other to Toronto, and then I'm flying right from Toronto, pinging back the other way, and going all the way to Incheon, Seoul, Korea. And from Incheon, I go to Seoul, and from Seoul, I go to Daejeon. Daejeon is the little city that I'm going to be living in Korea. So yeah, fun fact, these Twitch streams are going to be coming to you from Korea pretty soon. I'm going to look up the time difference real quick, so hopefully I can keep doing them at the same time. Hate to disturb your schedules. 9:30 p.m. PST in KST. Oh, 2:30 p.m. Nice. So yeah, I can keep doing these streams at the same time. It's going to be 2:30 for me instead of 9:30. That's fine. Yeah. You guys both said, wow. You know what that makes me think of? Done. Such wow. I love Doge so much. It's so funny. Anyways, Yeah, thanks. I'm really looking forward to it. Wow, that's broken, but we'll get to that in a minute. I'm really looking forward to it. My girlfriend lives over there. Ha! Korean women love you a long time. Yeah, exactly. I'm dating a Korean woman, and she's already over there. She lived in Canada for a year, and we worked at the same like shitty gift shop job together, and and we just like bonded over how much like how much the owner was kind of a prick, and then we started dating, and yes, the rest is history. And she had to move back because her visa expired, and now I'm gonna take off and go over there for a little while, see what happens in the future. I don't know. I love South Korea. Yeah, for sure. Me too. But hey, apparently North Korea is like being less crazy now. Hey, I'm a little scared to say that because like, what if they're watching? Dun dun. But yeah, really, like apparently North Korea is kind of like opening up, and like for the first time in like, well, since the war, pretty much, the president of the president of North Korea actually came down from North Korea to South Korea and was like, hey, what's up? And like hung out with the South Korean president, and they shook hands and stuff. And like, I don't know, my girlfriend was in Canada at the time, and she like was watching it on her, she was just like watching videos of it, and she was like almost tearing up. And I was like, whoa, this must be a big moment. South Korea has the fastest internet. Hell yeah. Although apparently, sadly, well, not apparently, I've been there already, but sadly the internet in my apartment isn't that great. It's about the same as here, which Canada doesn't have the greatest internet, if you didn't know that. I hope that place unites. Yeah, wouldn't that be cool? It'd be like, that'd be amazing. That'd be a wicked, I hope it happens while I'm over there, except that's like a scary thing to wish for, because like it could go south real fast, and not like South Korea, like south as in like, it could go bad news bears real quick, but yeah. North Korea could be a hot vacation spot. Yeah, I guess so. I personally, I've always been really curious about going there, but I'm also like way too into like George Orwell books, so that's part of the, not gonna lie, that's part of the reason I wanted to go there, is to like see what, the closest thing we have in real life to like a George Orwell story would actually look like, that's, yeah. So anyways, ooh, we're at 2 hours and 12 minutes. I better, I'm just gonna ease my mind. YouTube max up. Yeah, time limit. Okay, it's not 15 minutes though. The web page says to make sure you're using an up-to-date version of your browser to upload files over 20 gigs. Okay, so you can upload over 20 gigs, so we're probably good. As of November 12th, 2016, it's a little old, but maximum file size is 128 gigabytes and maximum duration is 12 hours. Okay, yeah, we're probably fine to go over 2 hours then. Okay, so yeah, just the only reason I say we're gonna go over 2 hours is because, oh man, but it's almost midnight for me. I've got a meeting at 9:30 in the morning and I'm not at home. I still have to bus home. And oh man, the buses are gonna stop running soon too, because Victoria is a small city. Shit. Whatever. Worst case scenario, I walk home and am tired in my meeting. Sorry, employer. I will try to keep it fresh and not be tired in my meetings, but it'll be fine. I'll slam a bunch more of these. What could possibly go wrong? I've seen people upload 7 hours. Whoa. Okay, cool. So yeah, 7 hours, 12 hours, yeah, whatever. 7 hours is, I highly doubt I would ever make a stream over 7 hours. Well, maybe. Actually, I saw, there was a guy who liked something of mine on Instagram. I can't remember what it was. That doesn't matter. But there was a guy who liked something of mine on Instagram, and I checked out his profile, and he said he's the world record holder for the most 24-hour live streams. And like right away I was like, what? That's a thing even? People stream for 24 hours? Oh, it's 3 a.m. here. Wow, thanks for your dedication, dude. That's awesome. Well, I wish I could say I would be asleep, but I have a bit of a problem with sleep, so I probably wouldn't be asleep in all honesty. But anyway, that's another story. Would you ever do a 24-hour stream? Yeah, honestly, if I could like coordinate it so that I didn't have to work the next day or the next day or whatever. And like, if I had some time off from work and if it was a holiday or something, yeah, hell yeah, I'd do a 24 stream. That'd be sweet. Some Twitch streamers do it. Yeah, what a record. Yeah, exactly. Hey, it's almost 2 a.m. here in San Antonio. Cool, San Antonio, nice. And it was a good stream. Thanks. GX Evolved. Sorry, I keep tripping up on your name, but you know what? I'm just looking at this now and thinking would be really neat. It's 2 hours 50. You know what? Let's just go for it. Let's make this really cool. So first things first. This is done, so we can this is done, so I can check that off my list. Now, technically, okay, you know what? How about this? I'll ask you guys, because you are the viewers, so this is all for you. So, well, all for you, but also I'm working on my site, but whatever, you get it. It's all for you. Would you guys prefer that I keep going tonight and I've got two paths I can take. One is I can start throwing on some cool effects using a little bit of JavaScript and a little bit more CSS on here, on all this stuff. Basically, I'm thinking to make like a little bit of a parallax effect on this. So as you scroll, things kind of scroll at different rates, if you feel my drift. Doing that, which is going to take a little bit more time, not that much more time actually, because I did just help a friend implement this effect, so it's kind of fresh in my head how it works. So we can do a parallax effect, spend a little bit more time. Also potentially fix this page, because this is broke AF. But anyway, so maybe fix that page and continue on like that. So that's one thing we could do. Or we could just wrap it up here. Oh, you know what? I was gonna say we could push this live, but I probably shouldn't push it live with this page this broken. Even though none of these are actually real blog posts. These are all just like filler content that I threw in here just to like have something while I was testing it. I haven't actually even got any real blog posts on here yet, but whatever, that's for another time. You like the parallax idea. Okay, so that's one vote for parallax idea. This is a democracy of 3 viewers. So someone's got a swing vote, but 2 of y'all are in the chat. So what is the tech stack? Oh, on this, I'm using Jekyll RB, which I threw a link to in the chat a little earlier. I don't know if you can scroll up and find it. Oh yeah, you can scroll through the whole chat. That's cool. So anyways, yeah, somewhere in the chat there's a link to Jekyll RB, which is what I'm using for kind of the backend. It's not technically a backend. It's a static site generator, and you're down for whatever. Cool. All right, parallax it is. Yeah, so it's a static site generator. So what it does is it takes, you write templates using Liquid, which is a templating engine that Shopify actually made, if you're familiar with that company. It's a really sick templating engine too. It's really good. And yeah, so you take these templates and then you create posts, but instead of saving the posts in a database like you do with WordPress or most other like content management systems / blog systems, you save the posts as files. I'll show you what one of those posts look like. So say, yeah, like Chromebook is a development machine. Obviously not a real post, but you get the drift. This is what it looks like. The title is Chromebook is a development machine. Those are the tags. That's when it was posted. That's the content of the post, and that's the icon. So if I go Chromebook dev setup, that's what a post looks like in Jekyll. It's actually a file. It's a markdown file with a little bit of front matter here, just to define whatever variables you want and a few like built-in variables of Jekyll. And then what it does is it feeds all these files through your templates and generates a whole bunch of HTML pages for you. So what's cool is, see how I'm on /blog / Chromebook dev setup. Traditionally on like something like WordPress, this like Chromebook dev setup and probably blog too, they would be, it's like a NoSQL thing, I feel. Almost, sorta. Like NoSQL is, well, I only know one database pattern for NoSQL, but I know there's a bunch. But the one I know is, I'm familiar with document collection databases, and those ones are really big on duplicating data. So like, for relational SQL databases, it's like that's like the biggest crime is to do, well, not the biggest crime, but anyways, it's the biggest crime is like, well, I think it's the biggest crime in a SQL relational database is to like duplicate any data. So like if you have a username on a post, you would never save the username to the post record. You would save the username to the user record, and then the user record would have an ID number or ID whatever, string, what doesn't matter, an ID, and the ID is what you would save to the post. And then when you're actually getting the username to display on the post, you would do a join, and you would say something along the lines of like, okay, join the post table by the user ID to the user's table's primary key, which would be its user ID. Then you have the username on your post record, and you can show it on your page, whatever. And the reason you do it like that is because, say, user A wanted to change their name to user B. If you've got a whole bunch of posts that have the name user A saved to them, how are you going to change all of those usernames if the user changes its username, right? So that's what like that's a rabbit hole. I could go down that for a while, but I'll try to keep it focused on this so we don't go like too late and that I'm not like totally dead for work tomorrow. But yeah, that's like the idea is you can, I don't know, it's a rabbit hole, but like they both have pros and cons, and like, but like, so you think like NoSQL might have no pros, but a really good pro of duplicating data is it makes reading from your database like a bazillion times faster, because you're not doing any of those complicated joins. You're just grabbing one record, pulling it down, has all the information you need, and you can just display it. That's it. You're looking into using, so Jay, you were looking into using Django for your blog site. Yeah, I've heard good things. I've heard mixed things about Django, but yeah, like for sure, man, like give it a try. Like honestly, like coding, it's good to just like learn as much as you can, and like as you're learning, you know, like you'll find stuff that you really like and you'll find stuff that you won't like, and it's just, but this all sounds a lot easier / cheaper. Oh hell yeah. Here, you know what, the link was already in the chat, but since we're talking about it now, I'll just throw it in one more time. So you've got a link to it. It's easier, it's cheaper. On the note of cheaper, if you're cool with having your source code as public, GitHub will give you free hosting up to 1 gigabyte for a site using Jekyll, and it automatically will, like, they have it so it's all like the deployment stuff is already set up, so it'll auto deploy, and or when you deploy to your site through Git, it'll automatically build it on the server for you and update it, not always right away, but pretty fast. I use it for like this site. I use it for a lot of sites. I'm probably gonna use it for all of the development blogs for the games, development / tutorial blogs for the games. Because the other thing is the Liquify thing, templates for websites, you said. Yeah, it's Liquid. Oh, it's not markup, sorry. Liquid templating engine. Yeah, so it's by these guys. It's one of their open source projects, actually. I didn't realize it. Well, of course it's open source. Anyways, yeah. See, used by Jekyll right there. Yeah, this is the templating language. If you're going to use Jekyll RB, though, just be a little careful, because you won't actually be able to use all of the features of Liquid. But this is Liquid as Shopify sees it. I'll throw this in the chat too, so you guys have this. So if you're ever making a Shopify site, it's all done in Liquid, which is their thing, but it's also used by Jekyll. Anyways, cool little history of that. You got it, dude. No problem. I'm here to. My ultimate goal is to educate and to inspire. So I hope I did a little bit of that tonight, you know, a little bit of one of them, one or the other, or both, or whatever. Yeah. Anyways, getting embarrassed on camera. Sorry, don't mind me. So yeah, we're gonna do? Okay, I guess should we do the boring job of fixing this broken jank-ass page, or should we do the more fun job of making the parallax? Hey, you got 6 viewers? Oh yeah, wow, no kidding. Cool. Hello, 6 viewers, that's amazing. I cannot wait for the game dev streams. Awesome, man, thanks. I'll, yeah, honestly, like, I was thinking streaming was going to be really hard, and like I would have to be super went back to 3. Anyways, I was thinking streaming would be super hard, and that I'd have to be like really charismatic and like not shy on camera and blah 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 and all that shit. And like I thought it was going to be really hard, and that it was going to take like a ton of effort. So I was like, yeah, I'll probably stream like once a week or something. But now, honestly, now that I've done it a few times, it's not that bad. I thought it was going to be wicked hard, but it's just like, it's basically what I do every night, but I'm just talking to you guys while I do it, and that's it. And so yeah, my plan now is honestly just, I haven't posted this anywhere officially, but my plan is to just stream every night, 9:30 Pacific Standard Time, whatever that is for your time. Yeah, and that's when the streams are going to start, and they'll be anywhere from 1 hour to however long we go tonight. Okay, I'm going to set a time limit though. I will cap it if it goes beyond another hour. I should probably call it, because at that point there's no more buses, so that means I'm walking home, and I gotta like try and get some of this caffeine out of my system and like sleep so that I can work tomorrow and be as effective as I can be, because this company is treating me like gold, and I really want to be the best employee I can be for them. Also, I'm in a shared co-working office space kind of thing, and the printer over there just started doing stuff. I don't know if someone's printing something or what, but I don't know. I think I'm the only one here, but there are people who stay here super late, so maybe not. There's an upstairs as well. 'Cause you're a cool. Aw, thank you, JL. That's super nice of you. Cool. So yeah, let's do the fun stuff first. Why not? This is a fun stream. Let's just do the fun stuff first. Also, I'm gonna just grab my phone for a moment and do you need a powerful system to stream? You know, that's a good question. I feel like probably kinda, because my work was incredibly nice enough to set me up with the newest version of the MacBook Pro. It's not the max spec one, but it's like the max specs that you can buy in store. And we just did that because we needed something like yesterday that I could start developing on right away. And anyways, yeah, my system has like 16 gigs of RAM, a graphics card of some kind, and i7, one of the 4-core ones. So this system is pretty stacked, and like it's not cooking, but it's warm. So to answer your question as best I can, I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like you probably need a decent system at least. Like you could probably get away with, like, if you were doing a desktop build, you could probably build something hella cheap and like it would be solid enough, because you can make magic happen with desktop builds nowadays. But if you're like really dead set on having a laptop, then like, yeah, I don't know. It'd probably have to be a pretty beefy one. Just throwing my music back on. Sorry, I'm not playing the music for you guys. It's kind of a copyright thing. I don't want to get in trouble with copyright, all that business. I'm gonna try and figure out a way to like play me. Actually, you know what? This is another question for you guys. Would you enjoy having background music to these streams, or are they better without background music? And like maybe you're playing your own music or something. I don't know. Which is better, music or no music? For the stream, and also for the recording that I then upload to YouTube, which would be better? Music? No music? Just a thought. Anyways, parallax time. So the method I used to implement this last time worked pretty well, and it's all thanks to this awesome property of CSS called transform. Transform has pretty solid browser support, and even if this browser doesn't support it, it falls back pretty gracefully. So like as long as you're not using it for something critical, nothing's gonna like look broken or messed up. Maybe, depends. Music streams occasionally, different atmosphere. Okay, yeah. Because like I was thinking that like maybe some of you are watching this, but you've got your own music playing, right? In which case, like if I had music playing, that'd be super annoying. I prefer no music as long as we chat, maybe just a low background music. Okay, yeah. Oh, actually here, you know what? This is actually great timing because I did, not that long ago, just upload this to YouTube, but I didn't, it's private right now. I haven't actually posted it anywhere, or I've got it like unlisted, but I don't know how to use YouTube at all anymore, but I think it's in here. Yeah, here we go. I'll make it public, or can I send you a link to an unlisted video? I don't know, try. So like, oh, not that, this. Okay, so yeah, here. If you guys can see that video, that's like what the music would be like if I had music in there. So yeah, what do you think of that music in that? Like, you can skip through the intro. The intro's a little cringy. I recorded it after like staying up all night, and I just have no idea what I'm talking about. But anyways, yeah, just tell me if you like the kind of music setup in that one. And all of those songs are, or all of those songs but one, YouTube was very quick to inform me, are all copyright-free music. They're all Creative Commons, so I'm totally good to use them and not get in copyright trouble. So yeah, maybe I'll just have like a playlist of selected copyright-free music playing or something. I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, back to the parallax. So yeah, the cool property that is going to enable us to do this, there are other ways of doing this, so don't think you have to do it this way. This is just the way I kind of hacked together for my friend's project the other day. So transform has a whole bunch of different functions you can use. So you can use scale, and watch this. Or actually, you know what? Just let's make this a little bit more dramatic. Transform, or not transform, sorry, transition, which is transition is another awesome property. Oh, you're gonna pass out? Okay, yep. Man, thanks so much for tuning in. You've been an awesome viewer, and I love the interaction. This is like the coolest part of Twitch for me so far, is chatting with you guys. If you want, I'll upload this stream pretty soon to YouTube if you ever want to check out the last little bit of it. Anyways, yeah. Great time chilling, man. And if you want to catch it again, it'll be tomorrow at 9:30 Pacific Standard Time, whatever that is in your time zone. Have a great night. Thanks so much for joining. And yeah. Anyways, so yeah, transition is a dope property because it allows you to animate anytime you change the property. It transitions the values for you. So we can say transition transform. Not transform, transform. And we'll say animate it in 1.5 seconds. How about that? How about that? So now if we change the scale, not kale, scale, the scale, check this out. You can make it just shrink to nothing. Oh. That's weird. Why did the transition not work? Oh, yeah, that's weird. That should have worked. Oh, weird. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties. The transition is not working quite right. Not really sure why that's not working, but it should be. I don't have any errors, but... Okay, you know what? I'm going off on the millionth tangent of the night. Let's just focus on parallax. I had a good time chilling. Def. Yeah, nice, man. Sounds good. I'll hope to see you tomorrow. As long as I'm not dead from like a little sleep plus work, I'll be fine. I'll make it work somehow. So let's get this parallax going. I'm thinking maybe tonight we'll just do the parallax, and I won't push this code live until we fix this, whatever the hell's going on here. That can be another thing. So yeah, it might take one or two extra steps to get to those game dev streams, but we'll get there. All right. Just because I want this website to be up and running and operational before I start pushing my game dev content. It's all that shiesty marketing plan, brah. Okay. Alrighty. So, first things first, we're actually going to need to dive into the HTML for a moment. And we're going to make up a property called data parallax. I can never spell parallax. Parallax offset equals. Should we call it offset or max? Offset's fine. So data parallax offset. This is step one. Data parallax offset equals, let's just give it some arbitrary value, doesn't really matter. Let's say 200. That'll be pixels. Then, what else do we want to be parallaxy? That for sure. And I think, this would look cool as parallaxy too. But we're going to have to do something clever to make it so that it doesn't do that, where if you can see how it's cut off at the bottom. We're going to have to do something. Ooh. That was weird, it stayed. Anyways, we're gonna have to do something clever to fix that, but it's okay, we can do that. We can figure it out. So data parallax offset of that, for that is 200, and yeah, maybe the content box should just be the same. See how that looks for now. Data parallax offset. So these data attributes I'm defining can be literally anything you want. It's just a way of creating key value pairs on your HTML elements, which can then be super useful for hooking into things for JavaScript, and is a great way to make like your own libraries or whatever. I also have to pee really bad, but the bathroom's upstairs, and I don't really want to like leave you guys hanging for like 5 minutes. Yeah, so anyways, data parallax offset of 200. Let's then grab this data parallax element, blur thing. We're going to put this in main JavaScript because we want this to apply to every page. I'm just going to start it way down here. Parallax biz. So first things first, we're going to grab all the elements that have this attribute, which we can do by saying document var parallax elements equals document dot query selector. And if you want to just select a single element, use this document dot query selector. If you want to select as all of the instances of this element, you say query selector all. And what this lets you do is basically the same thing as jQuery's selector, where you can just put in any CSS and it'll select those elements for you. But it works without jQuery, and I personally am not a fan of jQuery at all. Well, I shouldn't say at all, but I generally don't like it. I'd much prefer to just write vanilla CSS. I understand that jQuery had a time and a place, but I think we are well past that in 2019 now. Anyways, so now what's the next step? Let's write out some comments so we know what we're doing. So I'm just going to say, make this like a title comment kinda. Let's go like that and like that. This is just how I like to make my sort of title comments, and we'll make it all caps. And then it'll be a title. Why can I never spell parallax? Parallax business. So step one, grab all parallax elements. Step two, loop over them all. Step three, for each element, or hold on. You know what? Hold on. Sorry. Back it up. Document.query selector is very slow. Get element by ID is a lot better. Good to know. It definitely makes sense that it's slow because it's got a whole lot of work to do, no doubt. But at the same time, I could be wrong, but I don't know that there's any way to select like groups of elements in the document in the get element by ID way method, is there? Because like you have to specify each individual one, and IDs are by definition unique, right? So I think in this case we have to use something like query selector all if you want like a group of elements. But you're totally right. Like if it's one element, then yeah, I should probably just be giving them IDs and doing that. I'll definitely keep that in mind if I ever encounter performance issues. Anyways, create a window scroll, or create a function to be triggered on window scroll event. Step 3. So this is in the function. In the function, grab the height of the document minus the viewport. That was a thing I messed up on with my friend's one, and I figured out at the end. Minus the height of the viewport, the height of the viewport, and create a scalar value using those. If anybody knows what a scalar value really is, please do pipe it up, because I throw that term around when I'm writing code, but I honestly don't know anything about math. So like, I could be way out to lunch that it's totally not a scalar value. But anyways, get element by class name if you, oh, nice. Okay, cool. Gotcha. Use classes. Okay. That's cool. Thanks, man. Step 4. So we use that scalar value. So loop, so still in the function, loop over all elements. It's weird writing code in English like this. I almost think this is slower, but whatever. This is more for you guys so you can know what's coming next and what we're doing, which I think is kind of valuable for these more functional parts of the code, right? Because like that's, yeah, anyway. Still in the function, loop over all elements. And the audio is not too loud for you guys, is it? Because I've got music in, so I could very well be like yelling at the microphone, which is literally right there. Tell me if it's too loud, and I can adjust that. Anyways, so still in the function, loop over all elements, and apply the scalar value to their offset value, and assign that value to their translate y property. Okay, and that's almost it. Step 5, I know this one already, is just bind that event. Bind that function to the event handler. Cool. So we have our steps. Step 1 we've done already. Grab all the parallax elements. That's easy. Easy peasy. Step 2, create a function that will be triggered on the window scroll event. So, okay, how do you do that? Function, let's call it translate parallax elements. Are we going to need the, no, we don't need the event attribute. So let's throw the curly braces around here, put those up a notch. So now step 3, in the function, grab the height of the document minus the height, I'm going to just say explicitly a minus there, minus the height of the viewport. Okay, so we can do that. So step 1 is the height of the document, which we'll grab by saying doc height, or yeah, whatever, doc height. I'm trying to like be less anal about the way I name my variables. I'm really like, I always create these variable names that are just way too long, because like Yeah, but I also hate variable names that are like the really short ones where people like take out all the vowels and stuff, and it just bugs me. I like the way you're writing your steps. I do the same. Cool. Nice. Okay, cool. And I hope that this is more valuable. Like, it is valuable for me too, because it's easy. I don't forget what I'm doing, which is nice. But also I hope it's valuable for anyone watching who's wondering how it's working now and how it's going to work. Okay, so doc height equals, that's easy enough. That's just the document dot body dot height. Ooh, hold on now. Is it height or is it client height or is it offset height or is it scroll height? Oh, I kind of remember this. I think it's scroll height. I could be wrong. I think my friend's one was slightly off, and that was kind of bugging me as to why, and that might be the reason, but you know what, it works very close to perfect, so whatever, we'll just do it. So now we need the scroll position, which I believe is window dot, oh, look at this, Visual Studio Code's gonna help me out. What is it, offset? Yeah, page Y offset, bam. And just like that, we can take these and say scalar equals scroll position. I should just call it scroll position, not position. See, I'm trying to break those habits. Scroll position divided by doc height. So when I say a scalar value, again, I could be way out to lunch on what a scalar value actually is, but when I say a scalar value, I'm talking about it's basically just a percentage. It's like the percentage of the maximum amount of value for something else. So like it's a percentage that you then take and apply to an arbitrary number. So in this case, our arbitrary number is the parallax offset of 200. So if you were 50% of the way down the page, 50% times the offset would be 100 instead of 200, if you get the idea. That's the idea behind that. Anyhow, moving onwards, we've got our scalar value, so now we can move on to step 4. Or you know what? Let's just test this real quick to make sure it's actually working. Let's just say log out the scalar and see what that looks like. Just got to bind it real quick, so we'll finish step 5 at the same time. Window dot add event listener scroll function, not function, sorry, we're not an anonymous, not an anonymous function. We're going to say translate parallax elements, bam, just like that. So now if we save that and whip open our console, we should see some numbers flying at us when we scroll. And look at that. So yeah, okay, so see, when we're at the very top of the screen, it's 0, which is what we want. And then as we scroll down, it's going to go more and more, it's going to go higher and higher, but it'll max out, it should max out at 1. I get the sneaking suspicion it's not quite going to max out at 1. Ooh, that's not good. It maxes out at 59. Oh, because we're not accounting for the viewport height. That's why. So hold on, let me just fix that real quick. This is why you got to do those little iterative tests, man. It works, it helps. So document height minus height of the viewport. How the hell do you get that again? I'm just gonna look it up. This is honestly like 99% of coding for those of you who are new to coding. Is just get really good at wording your Google searches. That's straight up like the most valuable skill you can have in 2019. Viewport height JS. Oh, here we go. Not jQuery, get out of here. Oh, document element dot client height. Okay, you know what? I'm just Stack Overflow. You always know the way. Stack Overflow knows the way. Window.inner, that's it. Window.inner height, that's what we want. Oops, wrong way. Window.inner height. That ought to do the trick. So now let's go back to the top and try it again. So scroll up, scroll down, or scroll down, scroll up, and 0. So we're good still there. Scroll way down to the bottom, and boom, 1. Nice, so it actually worked perfectly. For some reason on my friend's, when I built this for my friend, it kind of like, it got like to like 0.95 or 97 or something. It got really close to 1, but it didn't get all the way to 1 for some reason, which I don't know why. But anyways, you can see right down here in the console, that's where our 1 is. Back to 0, 1, 0, 1. Not binary, scalar. Cool, so that works. We can get rid of that console log and dive right into creating the next step, which is to loop over all the elements and apply their scalar value to the offset value and assign that value to their blah blah property. Cool. We can do that. So we've already got the parallax elements, which is what we defined up here. Now let's dive in and say for each. This time we will use an anonymous function of the element. Throw that in there. Oh, small caveat with the approach I'm taking. If you ever decide to use this on a project of your own, it's worth noting that I didn't realize this, but apparently you can only use that transform property on block or like display flex elements. You can't use them on inline elements. Just a little side note there. So we're going over each element and we're saying, we're gonna get that, let's say y offset equals element dot get attribute data parallax offset. Maybe no. You know, let's just do it all in one line. Why not? Not as nice to read, but it works. It's fine. It's not like crazy unreadable. So we can count on all of these elements having that attribute available to us because that's what we're using to select them. Makes sense? So now we've got our actual y offset in pixels. Might actually just, no. See what I'm saying? I go full on with my variable names. I don't know why. I just, like, if I could, I would write like just an essay of a variable name. Just, that'd actually be funny. I kind of want to do that someday just for fun on like some random project and then just have someone look at it and be like, why is this variable name 2,000 characters long? Anyways, now it's time to apply that y offset to the transform property. So we can do that by saying the given element that we're on dot style dot transform equals translate y, and you have to put you have to act like it's a function here, plus y offset, and you do have to specify the units, so put pixels at the end and close it off, and that ought to be enough. So look at that, in 111 minus 94, so 17. So 17 lines of code. We wrote our own parallax effect. If it doesn't work when I try it, it's going to be funny, but hopefully it does. And this is the reason why I get really mad that people just immediately reach for a library that someone else created to make something like this. I do totally buy the argument for not reinventing the wheel, but at the same time, understanding how stuff's working under the hood is like an invaluable skill. And not only that, if you understand how it works under the hood, that makes it so that you can optimize it. So if you are using a library, you're kind of locked into the way that they're doing it. So if they're doing it in a insecure or in a slow way, you can go in and make it better. So like, for example, JL, if you didn't like that I was using this query selector all, you could do it all with classes, right? Instead, and make that more efficient. So that's my argument for reinventing the wheel sometimes. So anyways, let's refresh it, moment of truth, and Oh, wah, wah. Oh, it does work. Sorry. Okay, so I've just messed up one little thing here. We actually have to put minus 200 because we want them to go the opposite direction of where we're scrolling. Otherwise, it won't be very noticeable. So scroll and can you see it? It moves ever so slightly. Let's make it a little more dramatic, shall we? So let's up these to like 500 and see what happens. And, oh, isn't that cool? Neato, hey? All right, so we're now almost 3 hours in. I'm gonna cap it there. I think we did well for tonight. Tomorrow night, it looks like we're gonna be doing those Easter eggs that I was talking about earlier and fixing up this jank-ass business. And yeah, but I think that was good tonight. We did a lot. We moved the my new landing page to the home page, which is pretty cool. So that works. We've got this. We've also fixed up those other pages, and not only did we fix them up, we made them really cool with a little parallaxy effect. Oh, but I bet, yeah, when you scroll to the bottom, this is like way lifted. It's lifted by, you guessed it, 500 pixels. Anyway, you know, that, you know what, I'm not gonna fix that tonight. That can be, you know what, yes, I will fix that tonight. Let's just do it. I think if we just throw a padding bottom on this of 500 pixels, that'll probably do it. If this doesn't work, I'm not gonna like dive into this tonight because I do really need to go home, but. Oh wait, no, because it's, I've got box sizing border box on there, so that's not gonna work. Yeah, okay, no, I'm sticking to my guns. I do need to go home. I do need to rest for work tomorrow. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Nice stream. Thank you very much, sir. You're gonna head off. Cheers to you. Oh. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Anyways, yes. I just thought there was more messages. Thanks so much for tuning in, JL. I hope you enjoyed yourself, and I certainly did. And thanks for sticking around. Good luck, thank you. Good luck to you too, sir. And feel free to tune in anytime. It's gonna be 9:30 Pacific Standard Time, and I'm just gonna keep that even when I move to Korea. It'll be good. So thanks for watching. Have a good night, and yeah, see you next time maybe. Cool. Adios, guys. 3, 2, 1.